Alright. Wow. Look at that, a live stream, and I'm actually streaming. God, it happened so fucking quick. So quick that you just start streaming after you hit the stream button. Why, it's almost as if I'm unprepared. But yeah. So quick. Alright, so anybody who is here, I don't know if anybody is here. Oh, look, somebody is here. Wow, that's crazy. Anybody who is here, I just figured I'd live stream, because what the fuck. I got no other platform since I've been deplatformed. But, yeah, so I'm setting everything up right now. Early stages. This is usually when a streamer would play music for like 10 minutes and wait for people to show up. And then nobody would show up, and they'd be like, oh. Let me add the chat to the screen. And put it right there. I made a space for it, but I don't think it's going to fit in the space. Kitty, why are you walking in front of the screen? I don't think it's actually going to adhere to the space I made, because it likes to pop to the top of the screen. You see how that goes? It likes to pop. OBS just wants to pop things, man. So we're going to do that, and that's going to be fine. Alright, so nobody may show up to the stream. That's fine. I can't tweet about it. So, not many people are going to know what's happening. I'm going to actually go on Discord, I guess, and update Discord, tell people what I'm doing. Who knows? Hello, Emily Alucard. Now, the chat is going to freeze when I tab between windows here, so if the chat isn't at the forefront of everything, getting all of the attention, it doesn't work. So I'm going to go to my Discord, and I'm going to go to announcements, and I'm going to just put, hey, I'm streaming again. I wanted to do this semi-regularly, but yeah. So I wanted to stream semi-regularly. I said that last stream, I believe. But now it's like, oh, you're streaming the day after a bunch of bullshit happened. So. Alright. So welcome to welcome to the Slime Stream, Emily Alucard, and the other people who are watching who aren't saying anything. But that's okay. Lurking is fine. I don't like when streamers are like, oh, all you lurkers out there, say something. Get involved in the chat. Give me the goddamn interaction for my channel. It's like, no, I'd rather just sit here and be quiet. Thank you very much. But yeah. Alright. So, how you doing, Emily Alucard? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the description. Let me know on a new t-shirt. Print a t-shirt. Print out your own merch that just is a t-shirt that says how you're doing, specifically that day. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Doodle-doo-doo. Reading. I got stuck reading my Discord because I went there to update an announcement, and now I'm seeing that there's all this new talk, and I'm like, oh, new talk. Interesting. But yeah. So I don't know what I'm doing this stream. It might be just talking about shit. If people want to talk about shit, I'll talk about shit. Or maybe we could play a drawing game or play fucking something else. I don't give a fuck. I have no standards. Have you seen Fanati Five Nights at Treasure Island 2020 by Radiance? I've heard of it, and I think I've seen pictures of it. There are so many... By the way, first of all, hello, Kurt Wiersbowski. Wiersbowski? Tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. I probably am not. Kurt, I have probably seen it. I've seen, like, so much fucking... It's like, everybody wanted to make their own Five Nights at Treasure Island game. I don't know how many of them were ever completed. I will say I have seen it, but I haven't played it yet. I'd like to play it for my channel. I played the original Five Nights at Treasure Island game from my gaming channel, Games You Love. And that's an old reference nobody will get. But yeah, I wouldn't mind playing it. Wouldn't mind checking it out. I'm doing good at eating lunch with my dog in my lap. Don't get them confused, please. Don't mix them up, whatever you do. You'd be sitting there petting lunch, wondering where your dog went. But yeah. So, as I said, I don't know what's going to go on in this stream. Probably nothing. I'm probably going to stream for like an hour or 2 hours, and probably nothing will happen. But, you know, it gets me into the groove of streaming. It gets me into something that I want to do in the future. I want to do, like, game streams on other channels, but I'm so out of practice that it's like, I figure I might as well start. You know, it's one of those things where you're like, why don't I just start? Why does this look like it's off the screen on my OBS? It's not off the screen on you guys' end, but it looks off the screen on my end. I'm not talking about the chat box, I mean the background. Yeah, how do you like this background? Took me 5 hours in Photoshop. You can tell by the perfect pixels. Hello, Pterodax 2000. So, for anybody who, I don't know, I guess I might as well do this thing. Since it's going to be just awkward if we sit here in silence, I might as well just talk. For anybody who doesn't know, what the fuck? Talk comics, you nerd. That's tempting, but I was rolling into talking about something else, and I will talk about comics momentarily. 1 minute. Grucknar, Orcish Warrior, here to sue. So yeah, I got suspended from Twitter. Again, here's the course of events. Nightmind had a falling out with some people that I know. I never really knew Nightmind, never really talked to him much. Okay? And I know that this is not, you know, I'm just getting this out of the way at the beginning of the live stream, just to get something out there and get the ball rolling, and then we can talk about comics and cool things. But yeah, Nightmind had a falling out with some friends of mine, made a blog post about the falling out, and for some reason threw me into it, like I was an asshole, when I had never really interacted with him, never had a disagreement, etc. So, flash forward, I post on Reddit about Nightmind, get permanently suspended from Reddit. From his fans false reporting the post. Okay, whatever. Talk to Twitter with some people who are fans of Nightmind, who are, you know, trying to spread some bullshit about the whole thing that was going on. Get suspended from Twitter from Nightmind's fans false reporting me. Okay. So, cut to last night. Talking with this Nyx Fears person, who prefers to not be called by her username, but I don't give a fuck. It's your username. Change your username if you don't want to be called that. Nyx Fears, slight issue with that person. Her fans are basically Nightmind's fans because they used to collaborate, they're friends, you know, things like that, so there's overlap of the community. Let's be honest, it's Nightmind's fans that sometimes watch her stuff. And yeah, so had a disagreement with her, and so Nightmind's fans false reported and got me suspended from Twitter again. A bit of a trend there. I have only ever been suspended. Only have I ever in my entire life been suspended from social media by fans of Nightmind. What a coincidence. What's the connecting factor there? Anyway, so that's why I felt like, you know, this might be kind of an awkward stream. I didn't know if anybody would bring it up. If they do, now it has already been brought up. So, comics. What about comics? I haven't read comics in a long time. It's like several years ago that I stopped going to the comic shop. It just was getting to be like, I wasn't enjoying the comics I was reading, and I was like, eh. But yeah, I left before all of the, like the new wave of Marvel stuff and, you know, different things like that. So it wasn't because of that. It was just like I was reading comics and I was like, I'm bored. Nobody's doing anything like new and interesting anymore. It's all just like, you know, Batman, but he's a robot. And you're like, I don't care. I don't care if he's a robot. The new Gaiman Sandman series cast has been revealed, if you're interested. Is it Jason Statham, Gary Oldman, and Jennifer Lawrence? I hope so. Gary Oldman is Sandman. Jason Statham is Sandman. Jesus Christ. Merkias says, I'll be real, I stopped listening to Nyx well before this transition. Oh, the transition. Back when they argued that all stories have political meaning because she could find meaning in them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about what Nyx Fears has said because I never have watched a single video of hers or live stream or anything. I didn't regard them poorly, and I didn't regard them well. But, yeah, I can't really comment on what they've said because I never, was involved with any of that. But I will say that, yeah, you can find any political meaning you want in any media. You can look at a shoe and determine how it's political. Best worst comic you've read. Oh god, I love. Okay. Here's the thing. Miss me with that joke. No. Best worst comic I've read. Okay, so the best worst comic I've read is actually the comic that made me stop buying comic books. This is the comic that made me quit this fucking shit because I was like, you guys are just fucking around and don't, you're not trying to provide any good stories. You're just doing, you know, you're just like doing filler. You're doing stuff that will get you through to the next issue. Um, I have read independent comics, but I was more into like mainstream titles because I wanted ongoing things. With independent comics, you could go for a while without ever getting like the second issue. It would be like months and years, and they'd be like, "It's finally out," and you're like, "I don't care anymore." So I kind of stuck with Big Two. For the most part, there were a lot of independent comics I did enjoy, though. It's just a matter of for ongoing stuff. But yeah, the comic that made me fucking quit reading comics was a Batman miniseries about Arkham Asylum, and the whole premise of it was revealing that Dr. Arkham was like the new Black Mask, and he was like a serial killer and all that. And it's the best worst comic because it introduced some interesting things that I liked, but it just did nothing with it. It destroyed its own creative intent with this stupid fucking story about what if Jeremiah Arkham or whatever his name was, I don't know which Arkham guy it was, what if such and such Arkham was actually a villain too? And I was like, can't anybody in the DC universe not be a villain, in the Batman universe? Can you have any character that's not a villain, not a serial killer, secretly or eventually, or becomes a superhero? Can't you just have a guy who runs Arkham fucking Asylum? So they had a lot of interesting new characters, brand new characters they put in for this series. I liked what they were doing to a certain extent, but the overarching story, I was like, you're taking all of this creative stuff and you're just doing shit with it. So that actually made me quit comics. But it was the best worst comic because I liked certain parts a lot, and the other parts made me quit. I heard Batman was recently killed, actually, although that may be misinformation. When isn't Batman killed? Batman's killed every 5 fucking seconds. Every... Did you know that every 5 seconds in America, a Batman is killed? You can help stop this with the price of a cup of coffee a day. Abysme says, this nerd is live streaming again. Yeah. Hey, Abysme, what happened to your live streams? I mean, you got no excuse now. You're getting back into the swing of things. Do a live stream, you fucker. Do a fucking... Everybody in the chat, slam your fists on your desks. Knock over your little cups of juice. Go, Abysme streams. Abysme streams. Abysme streams. And that can either be a demand for Abysme streams or a demand that Abysme streams, whichever way you want to look at it. Emily, Grucknar says, Emily, last time Batman died, it turned out to be a time-traveling skeleton. I don't fucking doubt it. Get back to me when Batman is a robot. I'm sure he's been a robot in the past, but I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the Silver Age where it's like, in this issue, Batman is a robot and he has a pink costume and he walks around backwards. All that silly shit. I'm talking about, an ongoing modern Batman storyline where he's a robot. Oh no, it turns out he's actually Brainiac in disguise, and whatever. Wasn't that the comic line that he ended up creating Blindless and having a relationship with his mom? I have no fucking idea. Blindless. Is Blindless a Gotham villain that rips down people's window dressing? I don't... The Decurtainer. Curtain Man. Curtain Man actually is something I could see in a Silver Age Batman comic. All right, I gotta go AFK for 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll get don't scroll the chat. I'll read it all when I get back. Alright, sorry about that. What would you have preferred? Some music when I left? I don't have that queued up. I'm not a professional. But yeah, one of my cats was sick and had surgery, so I have to seclude him in a kennel while he has his special prescription food so the other cat doesn't eat it. And so I had to go let him back out. Alright, so... Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, I was making... What was I doing? I was saying that Curtain Man would be a great Silver Age Batman villain. What the fuck was I talking about? That's stupid. That was stupid! I'm more into manga than Western comics, says Gojira. I would never have guessed with that name. Haha, bump. Slime, we have evil weed in Batman. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Gruknar, Orcish Warrior, here to sue. I don't know if you're a member of the Too Spooky Discord, but we were discussing a while back how there was a villain in the Batman canon that was made of marijuana. But yeah. Ridiculous. Poison Ivy. Okay, the scientist who created Poison Ivy. The white male scientist who created Poison Ivy. That's highly problematic. And I'm not... I'm only half kidding, because it's like, that is true how... She couldn't have gotten her powers on her own back in the day. Jesus Christ. But, the scientist who created Poison Ivy, became a Poison Ivy himself by making himself El Planto Mano, or whatever his moniker is. But yeah, he became, I think it was Hydrofloronic Man or something. Hydroponic Man? I don't know. But, became a plant man himself, kind of like Swamp Thing, and but evil. And at one point he was made of marijuana, because he just, like, I guess, became that. Ah, comic books. They're so stupid. I have a soft spot for superheroes, too. Yeah. Superheroes are very simple. It's a simple framework. It's like icon pasta. It's like, you know, a slasher movie, you know, whatever. You basically just have an icon, an iconic character, and you decide what happens around them. And it's very simple as a framework. You know, this is my superhero, he does X, Y, and Z, and then what happens around him is the story. Pterodax, has Aunt Harriet been turned into a villain yet? Probably. You know, you joke and I joke, Pterodax, but I would assume there is an Elseworlds story out there, probably, where Aunt Harriet is like Jack the Ripper or something. It's like some Gotham story taking place back in that time. And it turns out Aunt Harriet was Jack the Ripper all along. Why did she do it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just buy the comic and shut up. Abysme. Yeah, I should get back on those soon. Back on what? Quaaludes? Oh, no, wait. Streaming. Sorry, I didn't mean to out your Quaalude addiction. Mercius. I'm going to get that name right at some point. I have my computer on a $5 folding table. I could break it that way. By pounding your fists on the desk? Well, damn. Alright, then pound them on the wall. Just bang on the wall, especially if you live in an apartment building. Bang on the wall and scream, Abysme streams. Emily Alucard says Abysme streams, true. Batman was injured and trying to get steady when Abraham Lincoln came back with a machete. Oh, yeah. I forget what that's called, but it's something like the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny or something. With Neil Cicerega involved. Neil Cicerega, the secret guy behind everything cool on the internet. Look him up. I don't know if you're going to know how to spell his name. I'll type it in the chat and I'll probably spell it wrong. Make sure to look up Neil Cicerega, and then I'll just throw yo on the end. Blibbity blibbity blibbity. Favorite obscure B horror movie? Oof. B horror movie. Would it have to be like a old-timey B movie, like in the classic sense of a B movie, or just any kind of B movie? Because for all intents and purposes, the bee should not be able to fly, or whatever the hell. B horror movie. Let me think for a minute, silently. I mean, obvious, easy answer would be Return of the Living Dead. Does that count? I mean, it's a pretty B movie. It's pretty fucking fucked up and cheap and shit. If that counts, it would have to be Return of the Living Dead, if for no other reason than trash. Hi, Slimebeast. Good to see you. Hello, Miss Blackthorn. How you doing? The Floronic Man. Okay. The Floronic Man, I think... Let me just adjust my microphone here. Floronic Man, I think... Wasn't he the inventor of moronic flan? Greknar, Orcish Warrior, here to sue. The Fun Guy. The Fun Guy would be a good name for him. I think the guy who made Ivy becomes Floronic Man, yes. Oh, God. Remember the what was it, Batman and Robin movie? Where they were like... Here's this character, the scientist who made Poison Ivy, he's dead, bye. He's dead and gone. Like, nowadays, it's interesting how night and day the old Batman movies are compared to, like, new superhero movies. New superhero movies very, very much do not want to kill off the bad guy. And if they do kill off the bad guy, they make sure that the bad guy has put something in motion to create, like, the next bad guys. Like Iron Man, you know, the first Iron Man movie, they could kill off Obadiah Stane because he had set in motion the events of the next few movies by, you know, doing all this armor shit and whatever. But movies nowadays very much don't want to kill off the villain. They keep around Scarecrow. They keep around the Joker. They kill off Two-Face for some reason, supposedly, even though you're not really sure if he's dead or not. Kitty, why are you trying to scream at the door again? All right, you know what? Apparently I'm never allowed to stream. I have to go... I have to silently think again as I open the door for the fucking cat. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, they very much don't want to kill off characters. They even kill off General Zod in the fucking Superman movie, but then they bring him back as Doomsday. Like, they couldn't even let him stay dead. They had to bring him back as a different character. It's like... It's crazy. It's crazy. Red Skull, he's not really dead. I don't know. I'm sure Thanos is somewhere in the time stream. They're probably going to bring back Thanos in, like, the Marvel shows or something. Loki travels to an alternate timeline, and that's one where Thanos is ruling over the galaxy still. But, you know, the old movies, if you contrast it with, like, the 1980s Batman movie and all the following Batman movies, they just fucking straight up murked villains, man. Joker, dead. Penguin, dead. Max Schreck, dead. Tommy Lee Jones, dead. Riddler, fucking melty-faced mutant. As good as dead. What's he gonna do? He can't fucking walk. He's as good as dead. But yeah, Batman Begins. They killed off Ra's al Ghul, but did they really? Because he's got the fucking pit of eternal ecstasy or whatever they call it. All right, let me fucking let me scroll up. That's exactly the name. Oh, cool. Hydroponic Man. Lemon Demon is easier. True. Any kind of B-movie. So yeah, I would pick Return of the Living Dead. Seinfeld intensifies. Oh yeah, if we could pick anything, then Garfield. Garfield's my favorite B-horror movie. Best superhero movie is Spider-Verse. It is very, very good. It's not my personal favorite, but it is very good. I don't know what my personal favorite would be. It is very, very good, though. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, cherry pie is extremely good. I love that. It's great. You know, apple pie. Wow, really good and great. I love it. Just not my favorite. My favorite is pumpkin pie. It's like, you know, not that I'd ever turn it down or anything. Miss Blackthorn, I'm good. Just been making characters for folk on a virtual tabletop and helping with tech stuff. Played D&D in between, though. Got a nasty headache, though. What if you created a character who gets more powerful the worse their headache is? Could make it a bard, since they're always playing like really bad music, giving themselves a headache. Pterodax, transfer control of the stream to the cat. I think that's already been done. If the cat can end the stream and put it on pause, I think the cat already is in control. They're my Robin Quivers, if you will. That's Harrison Ford's... No, that's Howard Stern's... what's-her-face? producer, I guess. I don't know. Zod's Day was awful, yeah. I didn't even see that fucking movie, and I could see it was, like, awful. They're definitely bringing back Thanos in the What If series, yeah. Catwoman not dead. Catwoman's not dead, but Catwoman, holy shit. Catwoman has been, what, how many people has Catwoman been in the movies? 3? There was James Earl Jones. There was Hilary Swank. No, there was Michelle Pfeiffer. There was Halle Berry and Uma Thurman. No, she was Ivy. Fucking goddamn it. Anne Hathaway. Anne Cathaway. Still a lower body count than the Harley Quinn animated series. I don't doubt it. The animated movies and animated shows are always more on par with the comics in terms of like I'm thinking of like the stuff I've seen. Now this may be not true for certain things that are newer that I haven't seen, but I remember like in the old Batman comics it would be like Clayface is dead, but now he's not. Clayface is dead again, but now he's not again. That's like the old animated series, like 90s shit. What if Thanos had his helicopter in Infinity War? Then he would have won, of course. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Bah, 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 you know, whatever the music is for the Avengers, I can't fucking remember. It just goes bah, 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 I think. But could you imagine Thanos just comes swooping in the helicopter, uses the blades to chop up all the Avengers? It's just like a big blood and gore fest. That would be the ending I want to see. That would be a good what if tale. Just beheads Captain America with a fucking rotor. Pterodax, the novelization of BB said they never found Ra's body. Of course. Of Batman Begins. Of course they never found Ra's body. Personal favorite B-movie horror superhero movie horror doobie foovie is Darkman. Yeah. Darkman, I remember that. I think I've seen it once, and that was back in the day, like when it was new. So I don't remember much about it, but I do remember the themes and overall arching ideas. The Jester and Satan are still alive at the end of Lady Death movie. Oh, fuck, I haven't seen it yet. I'm kidding. That is my life. Howard Stern. Your life is that you get more powerful the more the worse your headache is? The more headache you has? Howard Stern is Indiana Jones. True. Don't forget Lee Merriweather as Catwoman. Don't forget Eartha Kitt as Catwoman. Don't forget all these other people. Is Catwoman... No, I was going to say, is Catwoman the most used DC villain? But I think that would have to be the Joker at this point, because you've got, you know, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Meth Mouth, and River Phoenix. No, Joaquin Phoenix. And Cesar Romero. Although Catwoman was replaced a few times on the original show, so Catwoman might be the most used, the most cast Batman villain. I don't know. Somebody crunch the numbers on that. Somebody figure that out and get back to me. Tweet at me. Oh, wait. The video of this exists. Oh, okay. Lizzie is baked. Hey, heard anything about the Creeps McPasta stuff? It's unfortunate because at this point with Creeps McPasta, he's in the UK. The charges for what he allegedly did would be in the U.S., so he would have to either come to the U.S. voluntarily or the government would have to extradite him from England to America, which is the UK government going to extradite someone to face charges for grooming someone in 2012? I don't know. I don't think so. They won't extradite like Julian Assange and Edward Snowden and, you know, people like that. And, you know, I'm not saying they're all in the UK, but you get what I mean. When it's a really big deal case everybody's paying attention to, they still won't extradite people for anything because of, you know, certain rules, restrictions, beliefs, you know, not wanting people to face unjust punishment, different things like that. So I very much doubt they're going to extradite Creeps McPasta. But so we're in like a holding pattern because it's like, you know, he's not going to be kidnapped by SEAL Team 6. They're not going to put a black bag over his head and ship him over here. So the most I'm hoping for out of it, realistically, is that hopefully he won't be allowed in the United States because if he, you know, steps foot in the United States, he'd be arrested and, charged and, tried. But whatever. When is Fearfic coming back? Maybe this Friday. Question mark? Maybe? Positively? Possibly? Maybe? For sure? Definitely? Maybe? Mercaeus. Right now, I think Batman might be DC's most overused character in the comics. Yeah. Let's face it. The most overused characters in DC and Marvel, at least, up to the point when I left. Batman and Wolverine. Big surprise, the gritty, bruiser, the fist-fighting, tough-talking, semi-feral, ass kicker. Just sort of like a flavorless paste that you can spread over any story. Now, Batman and Wolverine of course have their stories, their lore, their character traits, and so on. But usually authors use them as a flavorless paste where it's like, and then Batman shows up and says, "Hey, I don't like what you're doing." And my hero, my character that I'm writing says, "Batman, my goodness." Wolverine shows up and he says, "Hey, bub." And my character says, "Wow, cool, Wolverine, I'm meeting you." Big hitters, a lot of people interested in them. They get overused, and put into a lot of stories they probably, didn't need to be in. They've ruined Harley Quinn for me. Aww. Harley Quinn is a bit of an anomaly. I was discussing this on the Discord a while back. Harley Quinn is like the DC character who gets reinvented a lot into different things. Like, she's basically this character who has Stockholm Syndrome for the Joker, and she loves him even though he's a piece of shit. But no, wait, she left him, and now she's, all about girl power. But no, wait, now she's a roller derby character. But wait, now she's this, now she's that. Like, you don't see them do that with a lot of other characters. Like, as much as the Joker gets reinvented, you don't see them where they're like, but now the Joker is actually working as a television show host, and he's cool now. Now the Joker is this. Now the Joker is that. He has his storylines where, the Joker will be like an Islamic terrorist, which literally happened. But it's always the Joker doing something toward his own ends. It's never like a fundamental change of the character. But with Harley Quinn, they fundamentally change her character from time to time. Like, if you look at the Injustice games, it's not like, now Harley Quinn is a good guy running Batman's computer. And it's like, what the fuck? How far have we departed from the original intent? The simple original intent. I don't know. Characters can grow and all that and change and blah, blah, blah. But it seems, manufactured, and it seems fake when it's, that type of thing. The Riddler is now into monster truck driving. Like, okay, whatever. They kept turning Catwoman into a hero in recent adaptations. Yeah, so can't call her most used villain. That's true. Are we only talking live action? Yeah, I was only talking live action for the casting. But yeah, that is true. Catwoman hasn't been a villain since, God. I think Batman Returns, Catwoman is only barely a villain. She's more of a harbinger of revenge. She's not really a villain in Batman Returns. She's a victim of a murder, essentially. Who wants revenge on the person who murdered her. That's not necessarily evil. And she doesn't do anything... I don't think she does anything irredeemable. She teams up with the Penguin, but... Huh. I had a dream last night that Danny DeVito died. I just remembered that. CSN. Oh. Can UK livers just... Whoop! Fuck! Ah. Can UK livers just kick him out, though? I don't know. A person is innocent until they're proven guilty. So someone like Creepypasta, despite the mountain of evidence that he's a liar and a piece of shit, innocent until proven guilty. So the thing is, understandably, a country's government isn't going to be like, "You, motherfucker, get to America to face your trial, you piece of shit." You know, they're going to be like, well, we don't know if he did this or not, and we're not getting involved. We're not extraditing him. We're not going to ship him out on a plane to a U.S. court. That's most likely, you know, whatever. Lizzie is baked. I'd help. Oh, are you guys British? Are you guys from London, England? I'm from London, England. This is my offensive accent. You don't get many chances to do offensive accents and not get canceled, so being British is one of them. Sorry if it offends you, but it's allowed. Pterodax, if you want to see what would happen if Thanos had the Thanos copter in Infinity War / Endgame, you've got it in Discord DMs. Oh, no. Alright, give me 1 second. I gotta check my DMs here. Oh, it's a video. Okay. Okay. I'll check that out later, because if I check it out now, it's going to play on stream and shit, like the audio and everything. I will definitely check that out. Thanos and the Thanos copter. Okay. I'm not really very well versed in Thanos culture. Is the Thanos copter from the classic comics, like from the old days when things were silly, or is it a recent thing where new male writers were trying to emulate the old times by going, wouldn't it be silly if Thanos had a Thanos copter? And Squirrel Girl pulls it out of the sky and I don't know. It seems like something from the olden days, but maybe not called the Thanos copter. Maybe he rode in a helicopter one time. And yeah, I don't know. Best thing anyone can do regarding CMP is to raise awareness. Thank you, Abysme. Abysme is true and right and a lawyer. Not really. He's not a lawyer. But he's kind of. Maybe a little bit. You know? Maybe he dresses up at night in a lawyer costume like Batman. Becomes lawman. I don't know. Just saying. Oh, absolutely, Batman was overused in DC right now, and probably for the last long stretch of time, yeah. I like Batman as a concept and everything, and he works well in certain instances, but he can definitely be used very poorly as, like I said, a flavorless paste just smeared over a story. And then Batman shows up, and he does everything right, and then it's funny because he always wins. Oh, I was referencing the damn Bat Who Laughs and the 18 billion other evil Batmans he was using as cronies. Oof. Here, I think I've said this before, but it might have been in text, like on Discord. DC has I guess this is basically every comic. This is Marvel and DC. They have a problem where they just, like, create 5 billion characters with the same fucking premise and name. Like, there's 5 billion Flashes. There's 5 billion, you know, Hulks. There's Red Hulk, Green Hulk, other Green Hulk, Evil Hulk, Good Hulk, Tiny Hulk, you know. There's Red Lanterns, Green Lanterns, Blue Lanterns, Black Lanterns, Yellow Lanterns, Indigo Lanterns. Literally, there are all of these lanterns. And I like the idea of Black Lanterns, but the other lanterns, I'm like, you're kind of useless. I don't think anybody really cares about Violet Lanterns. You know what I mean? The Black Lanterns are cool. That was a good idea. Speaking of comics and Harley Quinn, the whoopee cushion, that is all. Oh, God. Yeah, Paul Dini, interesting guy. The Batman animated series had a lot of sexual innuendo when it came to Harley Quinn, and that I think was because Paul Dini told me, this is actually one of those things where it's like a whiplash moment when I say stuff like this, but I used to talk to Paul Dini, and, you know, like on AOL Instant Messenger. And Harley Quinn actually was based, I think, on a dancer that he knew. Like, it's a professional dancer that he knew in real life. And so he based Harley Quinn on her. So take that for what you will when it comes to all of the innuendo and things with Harley Quinn. You right? I'm always right. I'm just kidding. I mean, when you're damaged, you cope by changing yourself up regularly, so it kind of makes sense with Harley. Yeah. Yeah. I think it would be cool. I just got done talking about the comic that made me quit comics, which was an Arkham Asylum comic where they made Dr. Arkham into the Black Mask and made him like a killer and a villain. And I was like, why can't he just be a doctor? But I'm going to violate my own rules here and say, what if you had a storyline where Harley Quinn, Dr. Harleen Quinzel, one of the funniest names in history, what if you had something where she was reformed and she was running Arkham Asylum? What if you had some tremendous disaster that necessitated enlisting someone to run Arkham Asylum in the interim, and Harleen Quinzel recently rehabilitated, as far as anyone knows, just gets picked, by whomever, because it's like, we need somebody in this position who knows what to do and knows how to take care of this while we take care of this other disaster. We don't want all the loonies escaping. And you've got Dr. Harleen Quinzel running Arkham Asylum. Wouldn't that be interesting? Especially, it would be interesting if you could keep going with it for long enough that it would not just be an immediate clusterfuck. It would be nice to see the actual Harleen Quinzel character, the psychiatrist character, in a Bruce Wayne kind of position where, she's not breaking character. She's not, just being nutty and silly. She could do things that were vindictive or funny or crazy, but it would be sort of like, if you remember the show House, it would be like somebody who's competent, somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who's in charge, somebody who is right 95% of the time and is in control, but also is like a vindictive kind of psychopath, just low-key on the side. But yeah, couldn't agree more. Oh, hey, I'm on time, says Jack Rum. Well, you're sort of on time. I've been streaming for 5 hours. I'm just ending. No, I'm kidding. I really enjoy both the seasons of the Harley Quinn cartoon, with the exception of one little thing that bothers me. Is it the Dr. Psycho guy, whatever? Get it? Little thing? I can't think of his name, though. Soon we'll discover Harley went back in time and became Aunt Harriet. No! Aunt Harriet. Aunt Harlot? Aunt Harlot. Aunt Harlot. That would be like... that would be an Elseworld story. Aunt Harriet becomes Harley Quinn and is Aunt Harlot. Noise. I don't think there's a Batman villainess left who DC isn't trying to recast as an anti-hero. That is very true. There actually have been times where DC and Marvel and all those basically were just trying to cast any cool villain as a hero. So you got Venom is a good guy. Venom is now good. Sabretooth is now, wearing a control collar and he's good. Different things like that where any kind of cool villain that people sort of liked, they were like, what if he was a good guy? So basically that's the same type of thing we're seeing now, but it's more agenda-oriented, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of obvious. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have agendas where you're like, we need more female heroes, but it's obvious why you're doing it. You're not doing it because you want to see more female heroes. You're doing it because you think it'll look good, like in a BuzzFeed article. Because if you were genuinely doing it, you'd be creating new female heroes. You wouldn't be taking ones that already exist and reformatting them and changing them and ruining their character. Thank you for the $5 from Abysme, the super chat. Impersonate Flabble Dabble. Thank you for the $5 from Abysme. Impersonate Fat Albert talking about Batman. I paid you money, so you have to do this. Alright, well, I don't want to start a... I don't want to start a trend where everybody in the chat gives me money. No, what the fuck am I talking about? Give me money and I'll say whatever, guys. Fat Albert talking about Batman.
Hey, hey, hey. Here we are in the junkyard. You know what? I just wanted to let you guys know that I shoplifted this payday. I stole this candy bar from the market.
Fat Albert, you shouldn't do that.
What's the worst that can happen? Oh no! What's that over there, behind the junk pile? Is that... It can't be! It's motherfucking Batman! Oh no! Oh shit! Oh god! Where are the paydays? It's just one payday, Batman! Oh god, don't break my legs! Please, I got a family!
This is in the future when Batman is like 50.
Please, I got 2 kids. I got fat. I got fat Timothy and fat Jessica, my children. My wife, fat Tiffany, died 5 years ago. Please, I'm all they have, Batman.
Oh, fuck.
I swear I'll never steal a candy again. Swear to me.
And then he breaks his legs. Not gonna love. Not gonna lie. I love Danny DeVito's Penguin. Okay. Complicated. I'm getting behind in the chat. Oh fuck! Everybody, stop talking. This is a complicated position I hold. I like Batman Returns. I like Danny DeVito's Penguin. However, imagine if you will, if Danny DeVito's Penguin had been a new character. They already added, what was it, Max Schreck or whatever the fucking name was, Christopher Walken. They already added a new character in Batman Returns. Now, what if we had a sewer-dwelling circus freak and his band of circus people in Batman canon? Like Harley Quinn was created for the animated series. What if we had a sewer-dwelling circus freak villain in the Batman universe? I think that would have been a pretty cool original character that might have led to some, cool stuff, expanded upon in, the comics and things. And, the thing is, Penguin, usually is seen as like a swanky, upper-class, suit and tie, mafia boss kind of guy. So they changed him a lot for the movie, so I think, it would have been cool. I like, it's a interesting thing, and it's a strange performance, and it's really funny, and all that. But I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if that was a new character? We got a super chat from Radioactive Rabid Raccoon Man. Say anything, quote unquote. Extremely delayed joke, I realize. Anything. I don't know if that picked that up. Let me try it again. Anything. There we go. ASMR. The A in ASMR stands for anything. Maybe just a little bit, slightly, kind of very British. Oh, am I that far behind? Fuck. I hate when this happens when I'm far behind because I feel like I'm screwing everybody. What's with the 2 dislikes? It's 2 idiots. What do you want? There's gonna be 2 idiots no matter where you go. Everywhere you go in life, 2 fucking idiots. Mark my words. Look around. Next time you go someplace, look around. You're gonna see 2 idiots. They're not gonna necessarily be standing together, but you'll spot them. Pterodax. Thanos Copter was from a one-shot. I think it was an adaptation of Electric Company's Spider-Man. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Carla Baca retracted their message. I'm going to go back on stream and see what it is later. I'm not a damn lawyer. True. Does Valscarium cure autism? Yes. That's from a sketch from the Fear Fiction podcast. I really loved Batman when I was 13. Well, Batman really loves boys that are 13. He dresses them in green tights. Oh god, not Batcack, says Crabcax. He's still probably my favorite superhero after Spider-Man, yeah. Batman is pretty cool. Batman's pretty cool. I gotta take a drink. That Fat Albert voice fucked me over, Abysme, you piece of shit. As much as I like parts of Nolan's Batman, Batman peaked at the animated series, which is not to say it can't be outdone again. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the Nolan Bat films. Like any of the 3. I haven't seen the 3rd one, but of what I've seen, I'm not a fan. I actually didn't like Dark Knight. Hold your gasps. You gasps of rage. Everybody loves the Bat Tech crab cake. Remember the shark repellent spray? Oof. It's from the Batman 60s movie. That would be cool concept, seeing Harley be the only person who has enough knowledge of the folks inside the asylum to temporarily have to run the place. Yeah, I mean, it's... As I said, it would be cool if it was done in such a way as to extend her, being undercover or sane. Not just immediately, like, she's Harley Quinn being bonkers, ha ha hee hee. But yeah, explore the character as a, real person. Reformed Harley Quinn running an asylum, exciting, great. Especially if you use yes. Fix the damn security, yes. Couldn't you picture a scene where Harley Quinn is escaping Arkham Asylum, and then as she escapes, she says, "Okay, well, here are all the flaws in security," because she's running tests. She's like flipping through, vents and shit. And then she comes out the other side and she's, yelling at the security team for the holes in security. I'm not sure Harley Quinn would be smart enough to know how to properly run an asylum. Well, she would have staff and help and shit like that. She basically would be the Dr. Arkham of the asylum. The person who's like the psychiatric lead, I guess. I don't know. This sounds a really cool idea. Thank you. Remind me to tell you guys about my Batman story idea. It's fucking awful, but whatever. One of these days, you're going to get dementia from the way your conversations with chat go in time-delayed circles like thus. True. What? $4.99? Why am I not seeing this in the... Where is this? Dark Knight is the time Joker managed to steal a whole movie from Two-Face. You fucking right. You fucking damn right. The Dark Knight. Okay. I read the super chat to you guys. You can't see it on screen, but it says, Dark Knight is the time Joker managed to steal a whole movie from Two-Face. Very much so. Every Two-Face... fuck. I already fucked it up. MatPat here. Film theory. Every Joker crime in The Dark Knight is two-themed. All of the Joker's crimes are two-themed. First thing, the bank heist. Every criminal in the bank heist has two jobs. One, take part in the bank heist, crack the safe, do whatever. Second job, kill one of the other people. Every single member of the gang at the beginning is two-faced. Huh? The Joker puts bombs on two boats. One full of good people, one full of bad people. Two-themed. The Joker takes two people and puts them at two separate locations and swaps their locations. Two-themed. My theory right now, I've sort of explored this in the past, but my theory right now as it has evolved is that Christopher Nolan just made everything two-themed because it was the second movie. It's Batman 2, so he just made everything two-themed. I don't know. Oh God, Abysme. That's what he said. Ignore what I said about the Electric Company Spider-Man. It was a different weird AU Spider-Man comic. Oh. I will now retroactively ignore it. I mean, sometimes turning a villain into a hero is good for their career. Definitely. I mean, look at Jackie Estacado. He was a villain when he showed up, and now he's a hero, and I think Moon Knight was a villain. Yeah, I mean, it can work. It's just like I think Venom, can work as an anti-hero, of course. Like a dark, gritty, killer hero like the Punisher or Ghost Rider. Venom can work in that regard. Different things like that. It's just like I said, there was a period of time where if any villain was popular, they became a hero and, got their own series and things like that. Best $5 I ever spent. I doubt that very much. Oh, Lady Death. She was a bad guy at first, I bet. With a name like Lady Death. It has to be good. A fat family to feed, yeah. That sounds more painful than voicing Batman, yeah.
I'm Fat Man.
I'm not going to explore that because that's going to destroy my voice. Ever since his brother lost his job teaching at the university and developed dissociative identity disorder, times have been tough. I'm not sure. Fuck. You talking about Fat Albert? Yeah, true. Two idiots. You're talking about the Fear Fiction podcast. Well, anywhere I go, there's two idiots. Take that for what you will. The Fear Fiction podcast, which I host with two other people. I don't know. Oh, no, wait a minute. Maybe I'm one of the idiots. Oh. I'm probably... Who's the other idiot with me, then? That's the question. That would be a cool idea. Like the possibility of a new character. I do feel they took a lot of liberties with the Penguin overall. Yeah. I think they should still do it. I think the comics should have engaged more with the film franchises. Like, I wanted, when the Nolan movies came out, I didn't enjoy the Nolan movies very much, but I enjoyed what he was trying to do in terms of interconnecting the universe and reinventing the characters. So I wanted to see a Nolan-verse comic. I wanted to see a Batman comic that followed Christopher Nolan's universe. I wanted to see the Penguin of that Nolan universe. I wanted to see, the Mr. Freeze of the Nolan universe, where he was, realistic and, had a realistic motivation and realistic existence. A Mr. Freeze who maybe was just a normal guy who was a scientist who, did X, Y, and Z to, freeze something, but, wasn't necessarily like a supernatural frost golem, But, so I really wanted to see stuff like that, and I wish they would engage more with things like that. We got Harley Quinn because they engaged with the animated series. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Circus Freak character brought in because they engage with Batman Begins, or Batman Returns, and I wouldn't have minded a comic series exploring what the Nolanverse would have spun out into, in a comic form. I don't know. You could always just cancel it. Jesus Christ. Why not try it? Also, is Creepypasta a banned topic for the stream? My other comment saying the word was shadow banned. No. That's odd. I don't have any banned terms for this, for my streams. Anything that is not showing would be YouTube doing it. Like if you say shit fuck cum slut, it probably will be not posted and held back by YouTube, but not me. Creepypasta is not... Huh. Can other people try typing creepypasta and confirm if it's being blocked? Because I didn't put that in. I'd be very interested to know. I also think if Harley was going to run Arkham items, or I guess it would or something instead of items. Going to run Arkham, it would be cool if she fucked. No, if she was shunned by the Joker, and as a result, she would rule Arkham with an iron fist, taking out her hate of the Joker on the cons. I like that idea. What if Harley Quinn running Arkham Asylum? Oh shit. Lizzie, get this. Get this, Lizzie. Lizzie, get this. Okay, you baked? You ready? Ready for your mind to be blown? What if Harley Quinn very proactively, very aggressively, and very physically and mentally tries to reform the Joker? What if Harley Quinn becomes the head of Arkham Asylum? Is more or less normal, but with, some, like I said, Dr. House-ish sadomasochism and, a little bit of insanity. What if she tortures the shit out of the Joker trying to reform him? Would that be fucking... I think that'd be funny. I think that'd be cool. You could explore that really well, I think. Well, fuck. I'm not saying she would succeed or anything, but that would be funny. I don't even think of Venom when I wrote both of those above comments. I feel kind of dumb now. Oh, don't. If anybody should feel dumb, it's me. I just fucking did an impression of Fat Albert getting beat up by Batman at 51 years old. I don't know. MatPat here. Everything in The Dark Knight Rises is 3-themed. Is it? I haven't seen it, but it probably is. Pterodax. Death's Head is one of the few characters where he can be either a villain or a hero, and it doesn't conflict with his character. Death's Head is... I like Death's Head, his visual design, as you were. I like Death's Head's... Fuck. Who the fuck named him Death's Head? Because that's so hard to say in a sentence. I like his look. I like his character overall. I didn't read many of his comics, but I do like that character. For anyone wondering, Death's Head is basically a cyborg monster, guy who's a hero or villain, depending on how you look at it. About the 2 thing, I wrote a paper in high school about it, and during research found the Joker was added on almost as a necessity based on the teaser at the end of Begins. Yeah, that's... I put out a video some years back where I surmised that the Joker was added and given a lot of Two-Face's scenes in the movie. Like, Two-Face was almost written out, and everything was given to the Joker. But, there's no way for me to know that for sure, but, that's how it felt. Now, in more recent time, I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe it just is that... maybe it just is that everything in the movie was too themed because it was the second movie. I don't know. Only one member of Fearfic is a lawyer. True. Creepypasta, creepypasta, creepypasta. Nope, it works. Okay, so I wonder why it was shadow blocked by YouTube. Must have been some other part of it that it misunderstood or something. Fuck! Okay, I'll rephrase my first comment. Who's the least terrible, notable creepypasta narrator? Least terrible, notable creepypasta narrator. Well, notable excludes everybody that I know. Fuck. Let me go through a list of people. Mr. Creepypasta, groomer. Creeps McPasta, groomer. Old Man Murphy, groomer. Corpse Husband. Immensely popular, not a narrator anymore. Originally built his career on stealing people's stories. But who would begrudge somebody for changing? He changed what he's doing. I'd rather change than be the same person forever, so let's applaud him for doing that. But he doesn't narrate anymore, so we can't pick him, I don't think. Chilling Tales for Dark Nights has a lot of high-quality production, but people have like interpersonal issues with them, so I can't in good conscience say Chilling Tales for Dark Nights. I may be biased because they pay me for my shit, but I do know that they have a lot of things where there's like interpersonal things with the audience and different things like arguments and stuff like that. Least terrible. If we're talking about quality, I like Chilling Tales for Dark Nights' quality of what they're doing, in terms of like the quality of audio, the quality of production. It's basically why I got involved with them in the first place, in terms of licensing my work and things like that, as opposed to just refusing. And they fit the notable category, which is the thing. Because if I didn't have to fulfill both of those, I would pick a lot of different people as, good, or, the best, or least terrible. But then the notable thing comes in, and it's like, well, you have to think of somebody with a lot of subscribers and a lot of views. I mean, you could look at people I work with, and you could see who I think are, good narrators. Always baked. I've seen multiple commentaries or commenters against Slimebeast from the recent drama celebrating the death of Creepypasta. Thankfully, Slime already wrote that story. Yeah, the people who... People don't know what they're talking about. I mean, somebody will come into a comment to spew, like, hate and toxicity, and they'll be like, Slimebeast, boy, what a fitting username. And I'm like, you really think it's a good point to point out the fact I semi-ironically named myself something disgusting? Like, what? 420 Blaze It. What a fitting username, because you do the pot. It's like, wow, great. But yeah, so a lot of people do that where they're like, Creepypasta sucks and is dead and stupid, and Creepypasta tropes are dumb. And I'm like, I could tell this person that I wrote an entire book about Creepypasta tropes, making fun of them, called the Creepypasta Field Guide. I could tell them that, but they wouldn't, they would never read it, and they wouldn't listen, and they would just continue saying what they're saying. So, it's that thing where people don't know what they'd be talking about. It's super cool to see really dark... It'd be super cool to see... Whoop. Alright, I gotta go open the door for the cat again. Fuck. Cat just screamed at the door like, Rah! Blah, I have returned. I should queue up music to play when I'm not here. But yeah, it'd be super cool to see a really dark tale like that. Like Harley Quinn shocking the shit out of the Joker. Get better! Get better! Dark Knight's Returns, pardon me, is the best live-action Batman adaptation on screen yet. Personal preference is the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton, but to each their own, you know. The reason I didn't go for, oh wait, Dark Knight Rises. Oh, I think you're being sarcastic. I don't know, maybe not, maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, and I'm just offended you very much, but, a lot of people are surprised. I'll go back to the Dark Knight. A lot of people are surprised, like, you didn't like the Dark Knight, and it's like, it felt too much like Spider-Man 3 when Venom was shoved into the story. Except it felt like, in this instance, it felt like Two-Face was shoved into the story, like the secondary character, not the, Joker, which is the main, focus of the whole thing. So I was like, if you remove Two-Face from this story, does it really matter? And then I'm thinking to myself, if you remove this character from the story, does it matter? If you move that character from the story, does it matter? And then I realized to myself, you could remove a lot of these characters and the story wouldn't fucking change. So I kind of was like, whatever. Simon Furman named him Death's Head. Ah, Simon Furman, why would you do this to me? The one with the Scarecrow? I think the one with the Scarecrow is all of them, I think, in the Nolan verse. I'm not sure. I didn't see Dark Knight Rises, so I just have seen clips of it, read the plot, different things like that. I had some joke about Joker, Harley, and CBT, but I lost it. Well, the Joker and Harley lost it too, get it? They're fucking crazy. God damn it, why does this keep happening to me? Alright. Come on. Alright. Howdy. Death's Head is a robotic freelance peacekeeping agent who will kidnap or assassinate anyone for the right price. He's had a ton of crossovers, been to multiple universes, and time travels a lot. Yeah, I always hold Death's Head in the same, like, mental space. This isn't, like, factually accurate, but I hold them in the same mental space as, like, Judge Dredd and, things like that, where it's like, it's one of those characters that everybody wants to see them cross over with a lot of different things. Like, what would happen if Spider-Man fought this character? What would happen if Batman fought this character? What would happen if... There are certain characters like that in independent comics where people want to cross them over with everything. Lizzie is baked. The only narrator I like is a little southern lady named Creeperoni. Creeperoni. Is that, macaroni, or are they an oni? Ba-dum-tsh. Radioactive rabid raccoons. It seems my repetition of Slimebeast's series of words, probably blocked by YouTube, was in fact shadow banned by YouTube. What? I don't understand that sentence. Chilling Tales for Dark Nights makes really high quality narrations. I don't know much about their behind the scenes history though. Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, very high quality work. But here's the thing. I've said this before, I think. Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, they run the channel like a business. And that comes with the positives, which is the good quality. And that comes with the negatives, which I think, most people would say is like their interpersonal relations with, like PR. You know what I mean? Like the thing where somebody will say, I don't like X, Y, and Z, and, Chilling Tales for Dark Nights will say, and I'm just making this up, but it's an example. Chilling Tales for Dark Nights would say something like, well, when you're a patron of our podcast, then let us know what you think. They haven't actually said that, but it's like that type of thing where it's like business oriented, it's revenue oriented, that's how they can, make high quality things. But then there's that PR problem where it's like every so often they get into like a scuffle with audience members or, somebody from that general circle, people on Facebook, shit like that. To be fair, I'd say Creeps McPasta has good quality butt groomer. Yeah, here's the thing. Creeps McPasta, I was happy when he overtook Mr. Creepypasta when he got more subscribers, because I knew and was directly told by people who know Mr. Creepypasta I was directly told, and I knew that Mr. Creepypasta was mad and butthurt that Creeps McPasta overtook him in terms of subscribers. So back when that happened, I was like, haha, cool. My boy Creeps McPasta, sticking it to the man. All right, go, you go, dude. You go, boy. Do your thing. Make it work for you. And I was like, on Creeps McPasta's side because I was like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, whatever. And I never would have said I was actually friends with him or actually, I never, surprised I've never actually listened to his narrations. But, then all this shit comes out and I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, well, that's who I was semi-rooting for? Okay, fine. Do you have any projects in the works? It's hard to say. I have projects in the works all the time, but it's a very low chance that they're actually going to come to fruition. I have, I do game projects with people who never code anything and then disappear because they don't want to actually work on the code because it's boring. I've had comic projects where the artists never draw anything, or they draw a few pages and quit because they don't, they find out they don't like drawing comics. So I have projects in the works all the time, but it's a matter of what's actually going to happen. I don't like to discuss projects unless it's just me doing something personally on my own. I don't like to discuss projects because usually they fall through and then people are disappointed. Speaking personally, I just, book projects, things like that. Slime, when you gonna deep dive into Silent Hill? I have to play Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I've never played those games. But yeah, I probably will do that on my channel at some point before I die. I don't know. Unless it happens suddenly. What is Cat's name? Ella. Ella is actually sitting by my desk, rubbing her head on my hand, making sure I can't use my mouse. But that's fine. Whatever. Jack Rum retracted their message. They must have said something terrible about me. Emily Alucard, thank you for the $5. I don't think I thanked people for the super chats. I think I just read what they wanted me to say and shit, but thank you guys for that. Emily Alucard, thank you for the $5. Question. What happened to Photonegative Mickey after the events of Abandoned by Disney? He opened a Tesco. No. See, this is the thing. When I wrote the Abandoned by Disney stuff, I wanted to leave it open for people to imagine what happened, make up their own ideas, and even write their own spin-off stories if they wanted to, as long as it's not just, stealing what the original story was and saying, now I wrote it. But, so why don't you should probably write a story about what happened to him after that. Because I don't know. He got out. He got out of Mowgli's palace. Where is he? What's he doing? Who knows? He's probably still in the area lurking around. Quick, everyone type meow in the chat. No! I like how I'm reacting to that 5 hours after you say it. Meow in the chat. Meow. Meow in the chat. Meow. Cat noises in the chat. Hey, gang. Hey, Vlad Vlad Kornienko? Kornienko? Vlad Kornienko, how are you doing? Oh, we're doing ABD questions now. I know the whole purpose of the scene is reader's interpretation, but what's the deal with the conversation in the motel room? Reader's interpretation. Alright, so the conversation in the hotel room, I wanted to, this is the whole thing is, I know that reader's interpretation is not what you're looking for, but I wanted to set up a scenario where things were unexplained because that is usually how it turns out in actual, blogs about creepy things. Like, when people actually urban explore someplace, they'll be like, we heard somebody in the next room, but when we went in there, they were gone. They might have gone out the window or something. You're like, well, who was it? Why were they there? What was going on? What the fuck? You never find out because the people who blogged about it don't know. So, I tried to make it, in that regard, semi-realistic in that things happen to this dude who's exploring the abandoned place, and it's like, he's like, I don't fucking know. Some weird shit happened, just letting you know. And you can sort of draw your own conclusions, or not, depending on how you feel about it. Maybe it was just some people in a room talking. some homeless people, some crazy people, some maybe it was other mascots. I don't know. Vlad Kornienko. Hey, Slimebeast, are you waiting for Snyder Cut? No, I haven't even seen the non-Snyder Cut. I'm terrible about seeing movies in general. I actually don't watch movies very much. And if I do, it has to be something I'm really, really, really fucking interested in. Like, I watched the Shazam movie, because I was like, I want to see what the fuck they did with this. What did they even do in Shazam? What the fuck? And then I watched it, and I was like, oh. Mild interest. Mild surprise. Okay. I personally think comic book adaptations work the best in animated form. Your thoughts? Definitely. I mean, look at Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse is the best example of the fact that comic book adaptations work best in animation. You know, that movie, you could never have made that movie live action. I mean, you could have, but it would have been, you know, a slog. You know, could you imagine live action Into the Spider-Verse? It would have just been like watching, I mean, you think of all the big special effects extravaganzas that are out right now that are live action, and if you crammed Into the Spider-Verse into that, it would look just like a garish mess. With, you know, real people and then, you know, 3D models of the people and then blue lights firing into the sky and then New York City skyline, but there are CGI explosions and, you know, just like, yeah, I mean, I should have just stopped at Into the Spider-Verse is the best example of that. I don't know, I think I'd rather have a stronger Two-Face Dent presence in the movie than none. Yeah. I really, after I watched The Dark Knight, and they had Two-Face, you know, fall from a moderate height, and then just die, I was thinking it would be cool if the third movie had, like, a point where there was, like, a mystery villain, where you had somebody in Arkham Asylum who was, like, the man in the Iron Mask. So you have an Iron Masked character in Arkham Asylum who's like a mystery prisoner. And then, you know, halfway through the movie, you reveal that it's Two-Face. And, you know, that would be according to the storyline, and it would have to build up to that point and make sense and everything. It wouldn't just be like, boom, it's Two-Face, you know, nonsense in your face. But, you know, the idea that they faked his death, you know, Batman, Commissioner Gordon, so on and so forth, faked his death and had him locked up in Arkham Asylum as someone who thought he was Harvey Dent, you know, and was a lunatic. Basically, with that whole premise at the end of Dark Knight, where they say, you know, the icon of Harvey Dent is more important than what actually happened to him. I think that would have been messed up, and I think that would have been cool and really dark to explore. Is, you know, the idea of Two-Face being locked away, still being alive and being locked away like the Man in the Iron Mask. Which, you know, if you know the story of the Man in the Iron Mask, pardon me, the dude in the Iron Mask in the original story was like the brother of the king or something. And they locked him away because the king didn't want a brother, basically, to rival him. So I think that would have been, you know, cool on several levels. Is, you know, what if Harvey Dent was essentially Iron Masked? Like the story. Anyway, I'm not a fan of any of the Nolan films, but then again, I think George Lazenby is the best Bond, so my opinions are crap, says Buck Ironstag. No, your opinions are your own. You know, like, I agree with you on the, why does it scroll all the way down? I tap the down key, and it scrolls all the way fucking down. I don't know much about James Bond, but I agree with you on the Nolan films, so, you know, maybe both our opinions are crap, I don't know. I don't like the Nolan films either. Like, they weren't awful, and they had some cool stuff, but definitely not my favorite version of Batman. Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you what, when I first saw Batman Begins, I was really into it until, like, the halfway point, and then I was like, come on! Come on, movie, do something! Please. Mr. Creepypasta makes me wish letter... Oh my god, Lizzie. I'm gonna fucking... I assume you mean glitter bombs. Holy shit, Lizzie. Fucking goddamn. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Wow. Let's not... Ooh. Oh, I hope you typoed Glitter bombs. Glitter bombs are legal. There you go. Holy fuck. Snickle, Creepypasta has apparently refused to do name-clearing interviews with friends of his. Pretty strange behavior. Yeah, Creepypasta refused to talk to me, too. Before all this stuff came out, before I posted anything on my channel showing that he was lying, I sent him a message on Reddit, because that was the only place I knew directly how to contact him, specifically, because he was posting on Reddit at the time, defending himself or something. I messaged him on Reddit, and I was like, I'm just letting you know, all this stuff is coming out showing you lied. If you want to get ahead of this and admit you lied, that probably would be the healthiest thing. And I said, even if you want to do like a discussion, voice discussion, whatever, just offering you all opportunities to, admit that you've, been dishonest and, explain why or whatever. And his response was like, I'll just wait and see what you have. I'll just wait and see what you've proven. Which is, like, very guilty behavior. Could you imagine that where, like, somebody says, you're a shoplifter, and you're like, no, I'm not. And they say, well, I have proof. Do you want to, come talk about it? And then you say, well, let me see what proof you have first. It's like, that's not a normal response. The normal response is, what are you talking about? No. There is no proof I did it because I didn't do it. Alfie makes videos. The real shame is Creepypasta is such a dead YouTube genre that all these situations don't really see the light of day. Definitely true. I tried to reach out to Creepypasta. I don't know if he saw it. Most likely not. He likely actually did see it. Pardon me. I can say people have said, oh, Creepypasta is so hard to reach. I reached him immediately, and he responded immediately. So, he is looking at shit, or he was in the past. Maybe he changed, I don't know. Fuck, and the cat is knocking my arm around, okay, with her little face. I actually did contact him and got an answer, but it was a non-answer, yeah. Creepypasta might be dead, but X compilations are all over YouTube right now, yeah. See, that's the thing. A while back I said Creepypasta was dying, and, it would never be completely dead. There are still going to be horror stories on the internet. It's not like those are going to stop. But I, thought it would shrink back, which it has. The fandom, I think, and the interest, the web traffic, so on and so forth, has shrunk. And I was thinking, there needs to be a different term for it. Like, fear fiction was my thing, covering all written horror on the internet. No Sleep, SCP, Creepypasta, Icon Pasta, all different things like that. I was thinking you could just call that all fear fiction because it's like fan fiction, but, scary. It's a genre of horror. But, yeah, I mean, it's always going to exist, and people are going to call it, /X compilations. And it's like, okay, I guess we're not calling it Creepypasta, but that's what it is now. Same thing. A lot of people don't even name their stories Creepypastas anymore due to reputation. Yeah. Question. Pardon me. If Sci-Fi own the full rights to these creepypastas, does that mean they can take down all the narrations? Okay, so, pardon me. A couple things to unpack there. I'm suffering the after effects of my Fat Albert voice. Couple things to unpack there. First of all, Sci-Fi, and this is going to sound confrontational from the beginning, Sci-Fi doesn't own the rights to the creepypastas. So let me just correct you there. No, I'm just kidding. But there's like no way to start that sentence without it sounding like I'm a know-it-all asshole. But the person who owns the rights to Candle Cove, No End House, the Park Ranger story, and the Basement Door story is Max Landis, specifically, the producer. Max Landis, who was embroiled in a lot of allegations of sexual impropriety and abuse. So good luck ever seeing those ever again. But so yeah, it's owned by a single rich boy, and yes, he could take down the narrations if he so chooses. Basically, any owner, any copyright owner of a story can take down, just bare narrations of stories, because you're just reformatting the story in audiobook format and posting it up. If you're doing it for profit especially, it's, easy to get down. and so on and so forth. And I will say this right now. Moving forward, I am going to be a lot more aggressive and proactive in my takedown shit because I'm sick of this shit. I'm fucking sick of, and this is a bit of a rant, and I'm way behind in the chat, and I apologize, but I have to rant right now. I'm fucking sick of people using my work and people using my work to, in whatever way, drop in the bucket, help build their channel so that they can fucking abuse people. Mr. Creepypasta, Creeps McPasta, Nick's Fears. However small a drop in the bucket it is traffic, it is a video, it is content based on my work. And I am sick and tired of people using my stuff not only inappropriately, but also using my work toward the goal of extending their fucking channel where they're abusive pieces of shit. So yeah, that's my rant. So I'm going to be a lot more aggressive with what I'm doing. People say, oh, Slimebeast, files DMCAs, Slimebeast files copyright strikes, blah, blah, blah. I've been a peach. I've been, giving people chances. I've been replying, I've been posting comments saying, please make sure this is credited. Please don't put ads on this. And if people don't respond or they say no, then I've filed takedowns. So I'm going to be a lot more fucking aggressive with it. And we'll see how that shakes out. Maybe it won't shake out well. Maybe I'll look like an even bigger asshole. But I already do, so who gives a fuck? Maybe I'll have, if certain people don't want to have control of their communities and they want to not only allow people in their comments to spread misinformation and toxic bullshit, but they also, in addition to wanting to allow that on their platform, they also want to prevent me from being able to answer it and say that it's wrong by blocking me and hiding what I'm saying so that the misinformation is unchallenged. Maybe your video needs to be taken the fuck down. Just saying. Anyway, if you're not going to control your shit, maybe I should control it for you. I don't know. Just a thought. But yeah. A lot of people don't even name the creeps. Blah, blah, blah. Hi, says Logan. Hi, Logan. Welcome to the stream right while I'm ranting about a bunch of shit. And as I said, I just think I'm going to be a lot more proactive and aggressive in the future. And stop giving people chances and stop playing Mr. Nice. Because obviously playing Mr. Nice hasn't done anything because people still think I'm a fucking bastard piece of shit. So, maybe I'll meet you in the middle. Maybe I'll be a bit of a bastard piece of shit. Are all of your creepypastas on your website in the same universe? And if not, which ones are connected? I wouldn't say they're all in the same universe. I don't really pay too much attention to what's connected and what's not. You can find, some threads between them. But I like to keep it open and free so that I can just do whatever. So I don't tie it too much down. You'll see like recurring themes in some of them. Like this is actually hidden deep within this live stream that's been going on for an hour and a half. Hidden deep is something people might be interested in. You'll see themes that are interconnected, like White Leaf Park is a location I like to use a lot, basically just because I like the idea of the location. You'll see things like peeling red paint, different things like that, which, in my mind, this is kind of hard to explain without sounding like a psychopath. In my mind, there are certain indicators of supernatural and evil goings-on. Like in my universes, in my, worlds that I create. And to a certain extent, I will reuse certain elements, like visuals and different things, that I feel like are almost like Easter eggs that are, as I said, indicators of something being very wrong. So you'll find a lot of like things where if there's some kind of eldritch thing going on or something really like evil or heinous, they'll be like, in the barn out back with its peeling red paint, or the chair on the front porch, with peeling red paint. It's just like, I don't really know necessarily if I have any long-term goal with any of that thing, but I like to put in little things that are like indicators, like signs of decay, signs of advanced decay, signs of supernatural decay, like the body, was this way and that way, and it's like, well, if that body was dead for 2 days, why is it so decayed that it's almost to bones? It's like, I like the idea of advanced decay. I like the idea of advanced ruin on things, certain things like that, as an indicator of something being very wrong. So you'll see threads like that, which don't necessarily mean it's all the same exact universe, but it's the same exact type of reality, I guess, that I've created. Anyway, bunch of bullshit. It's all stuff that's just in my head and isn't necessarily anything that needs to be expressed, but now it's been expressed. They would only own the licensing for visual adaptation, not a lawyer. I'm not sure, Abysme, I'm not sure. I think Max Landis bought full rights to the stories. I'm not entirely sure, but I remember Chris Straub, the writer of Candle Cove, somebody said to him once, "Can I do a narration of Candle Cove?" And Chris Straub said, "Unfortunately, no. You'd have to get permission from the new owners of the property." So he might be mistaken. I don't know. As I said, I didn't. I'm not privy to the contracts and everything, but I think it's like full ownership. And now I gotta go fucking. Woo, we're gonna open the door for the cat. I'll be right back. Pretend there's music playing. Alright, I have returned. I missed most of the stream, damn it. Alright, well that's nothing important was said. None of this was important. It's just some jackass, talking. Okay, completely aside, but for real, can we all agree that Fleshgate is the worst way to rename skinwalkers out of respect for Native Americans? Just call them doppelgangers or imposters. What? Who did that? Somebody wanted to rename skinwalkers out of respect to Native Americans. Did they ask any Native Americans if they cared? Okay, let me lay something out for you. If you hear or see something that you think might be offensive but you're not sure, step 1, find out if it offends the people you think are offended. Why? I don't know. Maybe Native Americans are really mad that people use the term skinwalker? I can't imagine that's true, but weird. Why would people... What? Fleshgate? What the fuck? Ugh. Ah! Fuck. Why is it that the thing scrolls down to the absolute bottom when I don't want it to? Alright. Cut it off, Abysme. Cut it off. Wait, cut off what? Abysme, cut it off in front of us now. I loved Into the Spider-Verse. Best Spider-Man movie I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I would say Into the Spider-Verse is probably the best Spider-Man movie. Like, I'm thinking, you got the Tobey Maguire movies, which had their charm and had their obvious flaws from the start. Like, you had the Power Rangers villain Green Goblin. And then you got the Janine Garofalo ones, the Andrew Garfield ones. And those sucked ass. And then you got the new ones from Marvel, which are, Homecoming and Far From Home. I liked Far From Home a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, that wasn't good, but I liked it a lot. I'm a fan of Mysterio, though, so maybe that I'm biased. But the ones from Marvel are, again, sort of like flavorless paste. So I would say Spider-Verse probably is the best Spider-Man movie, personally speaking. It did some new things. It did some cool things. It was its own movie and not borrowing from other shit. Oh, by the way, can we expect on your channel a top 5 Max Landis movie? Has Max Landis made 5 good movies? Has he made 1 good movie? I don't know. Chronicle, the Power Rangers movie, but it's not Power Rangers. And also, it's evil. Who's the most underrated Batman villain? This is Logan. Fuck. I could answer this about Spider-Man. It would be the Beetle, in my personal opinion. The Beetle, for Spider-Man, is basically evil Iron Man, like in the classic sense, in the classic comics. Which, now can't be done because the Marvel Cinematic Universe so heavily tied Spider-Man to Tony Stark and Iron Man that it's like now you got to move away from it or people are going to get bored. So you can never have the Beetle in that regard. Most underrated Batman villain. I'm actually not sure. I feel like they're all pretty well respected for what they are. Like Killer Croc is like an example of a B-lister or even D-lister, I don't know. And he's sort of treated with respect and, you know, he's treated as what he is. I think Clayface, I really like Clayface, and I wish that he was used more often, but I can see why he isn't. Clayface isn't used as often as he should be because he brings a supernatural element, a sort of supernatural element, even though it's science-based or whatever. It brings like that sci-fi or supernatural element to Batman, which usually they don't want because they want like real person versus real person, you know, gritty shit. So Clayface, I think, is kind of underrated just by virtue of the fact that he, you know, kind of, you know, as I said, isn't used as much because he doesn't fit the themes of like a traditional grim and gritty Gotham, you know, story. But I think he has a lot of potential. If you had a reimagining of Clayface where he was more based in reality, I think that would be pretty awesome if you could use him a lot. You know, a character that molds his face into looking like other people and so on and so forth, but have it be, you know, something superficial or some kind of plastic surgery, some kind of like plastic surgery putty, where his face is actually moldable and is, you know, so on and so forth, but you know, it's more based in reality. I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a director's commentary of sorts for the Abandoned by Disney series. Oof. Either reading it yourself or listening to Abisme's narration and then talking about thought processes of scenes. Oh, I could disappear totally up my own ass and do that. I don't know. I think both the most recent live-action movies were okay, too. Yeah, the Marvel Spider-Man movies are fine. Like I said, they're, you know, they're what they are. They're paced, you know, they're like a bridge between phases of Marvel, I guess. Can't confirm, but looking at Twitter, people are saying that the Robinhood stock app is stealing shares by selling them without the owner's consent. That's odd. I don't know anything about stock trading, obviously. He said, sitting there in a t-shirt with holes in it and shorts. I like Tom as Peter Parker. Yeah. I would say Tom Holland is, you know, one of the better Peter Parkers. Andrew Garfield was like, I think too classically attractive, I guess. like he wasn't somebody you could believe was a nerd, and you know, like somebody who was looked down on and shit. So FBI rating Lizzie. Yeah. It's a mistype. It's a mistype. Glitter bomb. How often do you steal something that is publicly offered for purchase? Me personally? Every so often I'll watch a movie off of Netflix or Hulu or whatever because I know that I'm going to have a Netflix or Hulu subscription at some point later and would be able to watch it then. That's about as far as I go in terms of stealing shit. Then you say meow. What do you think of the Camerahead story Slimebeast? I haven't read it. Maybe we'll read it on the Fear Fiction podcast. I don't know. Abisme, schedule the Camerahead story for the Fear Fiction podcast. Abisme is now Elias for some reason. Alfie Makes Videos says, honestly, the only way to get an interview with him seems to be that you'd have to force him into it via public attention. I think Creeps McPasta, Creeps McPasta made a response video where he blatantly lied. And he knew that his audience would believe it. I think Creeps McPasta probably has, like, Puppet Master syndrome, where he thinks he's, like, the puppet master pulling the strings, that he can, you know, say or do whatever and everybody will believe it. So I'm not sure you'd be able to get him to do anything with public attention. I think he would just be like, no, it's not true. And then, you know, you believe me, right? Everybody who subscribes to my channel for free content? And they'd be like, yes, we believe you, Mr. Creepypasta. I'm 8 years old. You'd be like, call me back in, about 5 years and we'll talk, 8-year-old. But, I don't know. So I don't know. He might be immune to public attention because, as I said, I think he sees himself as being in control of everything, even though he's been proven to be a liar. More people think he isn't, so I don't think you could shame him. I think you could. Okay, I'll take that back. You could if you had enough public attention to make it like massive. Like you would have to have it on the news or something. Like on like news channels and shit. Like you'd have to have David Pakman talking about it. You'd have to have the Young Turks talking about it. Not anybody who's into just small circles of small communities or even drama channels. I think even if you had like I don't know, if you had Keemstar talking about it, I think Creepypasta would just be like, well, Keemstar, he's a big lying meanie. And then his audience would be like, you're right. Keemstar is a terrible person, which is true. So yeah, you'd have to have a lot of, I think, like really huge attention on him for him to say anything about it. Is there a full sleep subreddit where you read stories that make you fall asleep? Yes, it's called r/no sleep. Did you hear about the Spire in the Woods story is apparently getting a movie? It's a good choice for a movie, in my opinion. I haven't read the story. I think I've heard the name before. But yeah, there are stories that are getting movies, and some of them were written for the movies and then posted up to make it seem like it's organic. I don't know. I'd have to check into the Spire in the Woods, though. That probably isn't one of them. Those sympathetic meows indicate your cat is sick of your work being stolen as well. True. Are there any secrets on your Slimebeast website? There's a lot of stuff that I've taken down that's still there. Like, folders and shit that aren't linked anywhere anymore. There's no, like, Easter eggs or anything, I think. I used to put Easter eggs on my websites, but eventually I just stopped caring about it. Like, I'd have things where you click something and it would be a little mini game where you could blow up my face. But, stupid shit like that. But I don't do that anymore. I don't think anybody ever found them, so it's like, what's the point? Well said. Well, thank you. I'm not sure what thing that's to, but thank you. Well, I remember Spire in the Woods that would be a nifty film for maybe a miniseries. Oh, you know what else could work if anyone's ever read or listened to Baraska? I think that's how you spell it. It's not, but I know exactly what you mean. Hey Slime, I'm back. Just wondering if the Fearfic boys would be down to hold a Silent Hill writing challenge. I don't know, Abysme. Why don't you get on that? Everything everybody requests for the Fear Fiction podcast, I'm going to tell Abysme to handle it. Aren't you glad you showed up, Abysme? Just getting abused. Why is it that Nick Spheres can read a story in full while saying 3 words after every paragraph, but you can't upload the full Fear.com video where you guys basically talk over the full movie? Because I'm nice. I was nice to Nick Spheres. Here's the thing. When you're reviewing a work, it becomes a thing where a court really would have to decide if you've used too much and if you've talked enough and different things like that. But as we've seen with the Midnight Marinara channel, apparently you can just file strikes on reviews and get them taken down. So I don't know, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Don't lower yourself to that level, Slimebeast. Well, fuck, lower myself to what? Lower myself to getting rid of something where somebody's openly encouraging people to spread bullshit. The video itself, let me be clear, the video from Nick Spheres, I have no problem with the video. Review it all you want, say what you want about it, say silly things like, why would this happen in the story when it's totally logical and you're just being a dumbass? Do whatever. That's fine. Reviews are reviews. It's personal opinion, subjective opinion. You're not reading the story properly. You're leaving out parts of it. That's the funny thing is she skipped parts of it, and it's like, oh, you're not even paying attention. Okay, cool. But the video's fine, whatever. But the comments below the video, if you're going to allow your platform to be overtaken by toxic bullshit and encourage it and incite more of it, then, I don't know, maybe you don't deserve somebody being nice to you. Maybe you don't deserve somebody being respectful of your rights to review something if you're not being respectful of other people's rights to not be slandered, not have libel written against them. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm weighing options. I'm thinking about. I'm waiting for chat. I'm waiting for somebody in chat to say their opinion on this, because I'm sort of like weighing my options. Where I'm like, if you guys can take me off Twitter, if you guys can say and do whatever you want, and I get blocked from replying so that I can't defend myself and say it's wrong, why the fuck would I hold myself back from just taking your video down? It's a thought experiment. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Again, I'm waiting to see what you guys say. Maybe I'm absolutely crazy. I'm annoyed by certain things, so 2 or 3 days from now, I probably won't give a shit. A lot of what people have done to your work are why I have never released any of my fiction online. That's a shame. I understand it. It's a shame. You should put it on like Patreon or in a book on Amazon or something. Make people pay to see it. That way, you're going to cut out all the narrators if they have to pay for something, because they don't want to pay for shit. They want to steal everything. I have a lot of stuff I'd like folks to read. Pardon me. But the internet is a savage land. True. It's a shame that you've been discouraged by that, but I totally 100% understand it. Well, now I'm scared of peeling red paint. Well, you should be. Especially if you eat it. It's very bad for you. I could be wrong regarding Channel Zero, but so many of these stories were offered directly or indirectly as Creative Commons for years, you can't unring that bell. Can you really not undo a license? I'm going to go open the door for the cat for the 50th time. Alright. Can you actually not change your license? Like, if you... Let's say you release something. Let's say you post something on the Creepypasta wiki, and you post it up there and it's indicated that it's under Creative Commons. Can you later realize that and say, I take that back, I actually want copyright on my story? Because here's the thing, I didn't post any of my stories on the Creepypasta wiki. Other people did it without my permission, so I never agreed to that. But if somebody does agree to that, can they later change their mind? I don't know. The man who belches. Oh, it's me. Any future update on Fearfic? There might be a new episode on Friday. Shrug. Wink. Maybe. Would it be rude if I was saying that and then there wasn't? Rabid Radioactive Raccoons. I must say that using John Cage's 433 as waiting music is an intriguing artistic choice. Thank you. For anybody who doesn't know, that's just silence. Yet another white person speaking for a minority group. Yeah. Radiance. Oh, Radiance from, are you from the Five Nights at Treasure Island thing, maybe? I don't know. Really unfortunate all this Nick's Fear stuff is happening. The community has really gone to crap. I wish you luck with everything. Was there ever really a community? Was there a community, or were there a bunch of people trying to get famous and the people who helped them to get famous? I don't know. Is it really a community if nobody fucking knows or helps each other or, cares about each other? I don't know. Derek Campana. I'm okay with it because skinwalkers aren't generic monsters. They're witches people. Ah. Buck Ironstag. My absolute favorite of your stories is the criminally underrated Red Sky at Night. Pure curiosity. Which of the interpretations you suggested do you most prescribe to? I don't know. Red Sky at Night has been out for a long time. Maybe I should just say what I think. I don't know. I like people to be able to find their own meaning in stories and shit like that. If you want to know my personal opinion, if you read the story, should I even say it? For anybody wondering, Red Sky at Night is a story I wrote about a cruise ship that, essentially goes missing out on the ocean. I'm very torn as to whether I should say anything or not. Would it ruin it to say anything? I don't know. It might ruin it. I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, the ending of Red Sky at Night has a lot of ways you can interpret it. The entire story actually has a lot of ways you can interpret it. Buck Ironstag, DM me on Discord. Maybe I'll talk to you later about it. I don't want to ruin it, and I can't decide right now. Mr. What's It To Ya? What's It To Ya? Hey Slime, this is the first stream of yours that I've joined, and I wanted to say that I've really enjoyed listening to your Disney creepypastas ever since they came out. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, you know, for every one person who is like, this is the worst thing ever written, and you should go die in a fire. For every person like that, there are 5 people I hear from that liked it. So that always, you know, gives me an easy out from feeling like shit because somebody wants to make me feel like shit. Sorry you didn't like the story. Just get over it. You know? Could you imagine somebody comes up to you and gives you free ice cream, and you taste the ice cream and you don't like the flavor? So you then go for years talking about how much you hated the flavor of that free ice cream you were handed. That's what it's like with Abandoned by Disney. It's like, yeah, if you don't like the flavor, that's cool. Don't eat the ice cream. Don't read the story. Don't enjoy the story. You know, whatever. It's up to you. But when it's 5 years later and you're still complaining about the flavor of the free ice cream, I think you're kind of a baby. I don't know. You don't have to like it, but Jesus, shut the fuck up. Far From Home was pretty good. I liked Far From Home a lot. I'd say maybe Clayface may be underrated. I don't know. Yeah. Are you ever going to do anything with Or again? Or. Oh, Ode from Attract Mode. Probably not. I don't know. You know, I never think I'm going to revisit any of my stories until the day that I think it might be a good idea, and then I do it. So I never really know, but I don't. Probably not. You know, once I write a multi-part story and it's finished, usually that's it. And if I do write anything else, usually it's like tangentially related, like, you know, a character appearing in another story or whatever. Mad Hatter is definitely underrated. True. I think Mad Hatter could work in a movie, a Batman movie, but you'd have to drop 95% of the Alice in Wonderland stuff. Maybe keep a little bit of the theming, but I think people would probably be like, why is an Alice in Wonderland character appearing in a Batman movie? What the fuck? What is this crossover? And then you have to explain, well, it's not a crossover. It's a character who likes the Mad Hatter and thinks that he should be like the Mad Hatter. But yeah. I'm going to have to disagree with you, Slimebeast. No! The most underrated Spider-Man villain is either Big Wheel or the Foreigner. Oh, God. The Foreigner. Oh, my God. I've never heard of that, but I have zero doubt that it's real. I 100% believe you. Okay, serious question now. Who is the biggest hack of the Creepypasta community? Oh, my God. There are so many. Are there any people in the Creepypasta community who aren't hacks? We're all writing infantile revenge fantasies and about goofy monsters. Can I say that I'm the biggest hack in the Creepypasta community? Let me think of how to frame this in a way that I would be comfortable answering it. The biggest hack. I would say, this answer may not be what you're looking for, but this is my answer. I would say the biggest hacks in the Creepypasta community are text-to-speech narration channels, where they're doing fucking absolutely nothing. And the text-to-speech program is like mispronouncing words. And they don't edit or correct it. I mean, they have to be the biggest hacks, because they are legitimately doing absolutely nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. So I would think that has to be it. Fuck. God damn it. Every so often when I push down, it goes all the way down to the bottom for no reason. Clayface versus Sandman. Why not combine them into one? The Clay Sandman face. Double, draw Clay Sandman face. Double's not here? Oh, fuck. This Clayface you were describing sounds like Chameleon or Hush. Yeah, Hush, I think... I didn't follow... I read the original Hush miniseries, But after that, I didn't, see him in much other things because I guess I left comics not too long after that. But I do know he at some point like rearranged his face or something, or did that as his gimmick. I don't know. The original Clayface, this is a interesting thing. I'm not sure if it is actually legitimately the original, but one of the original Clayfaces was actually a... They combined all the Clayfaces, I think, into like one character eventually. But the original Clayface was just a Jack the Ripper type character who had clay spread over his face. And would like mold his face into, grotesque features and shit. Like way back in the comics. He was just a guy with a knife who like killed people in a theater. He was basically the Phantom of the Opera now that I think about it. God damn it, they stole something else. They stole Batman from the Bat, the play. And they stole the Joker from The Man Who Laughs. Now we're just finding out they stole Clayface from the Phantom of the Opera. Fuck. Do you have any comic ideas? Oh boy, I have a ton of comic ideas. Recently, okay. Fuck. Damn, there's no time. I got so much. I'll make a video. How about this, Logan? I'll make a video of a comic idea. Maybe I'll make several. Because I wanted to tell you guys about my Batman storyline idea, but there's no time because I gotta go through all this. I do have a lot of comic ideas. I actually have an Excel file. I haven't added to it recently because like when I left comics, I sort of slowed down. But I have an Excel file spreadsheet thingy full of a ton of fucking comic ideas and characters and shit. Like absolutely full. I want a Mystique movie. The X-Men movies have been hit and miss. True. Who would you have as Mystique? I don't know. Oh, Slimebeast, do you like any horror comics? Or, well, sorry, did you like any horror comics back when you liked comics? Oh, yeah. I was a regular at, like, the dollar boxes where they would have all the weird old comics that nobody wanted, and I would buy, all the old horror comics I could get my hands on. The stench of fear and the gas of terror and the lunchbox of infamy. All those old weird things like that. Tales of the Unknown, blah, blah, blah. How's Elias been handling the hiatus? How has Elias been handling the hiatus, by the way? He almost Epsteined himself. He can't take it. But luckily, we caught him in time. Our cameras were working, and our guards were actually awake, so we caught him. We stopped him, don't worry. Alfie makes videos. Have you... Or, fuck. You'd have to get Keemstar talking about Creepypasta. Yeah. What is up, Drone Nation? Keemstar here. Whoa! It's a terrible impression, but you get the idea. Ooh, you should read The Spire in the Woods. I give it a 9 out of 10. Abysme! Schedule Spire in the Woods for the Fear Fiction podcast. How much stuff do you own that is red? You need to stock up if you want to keep yourself safe from internet ghosts. Looking around my room, I don't actually own much that's red. There's red on things, but I have a ShopRite basket that's red. Like one of those shopping baskets. I don't know where the fuck it came from, but I didn't steal it. It was like passed down through my family for some reason. And I just used it to store stuff in. So I've got like a bunch of shit sitting in a ShopRite basket over on my desk. I don't know why. That's red. What a fucking random fucking thing. Is the cat to blame? Yes. Is Elias really Mormon, or is that just a running joke? Elias is... Here's the thing. Elias comes from a Mormon family. His parents are Mormon, so he's Mormon. Once he matures into a full-grown adult, maybe he'll, who knows what he'll be by that point. But, for now, he's Mormon, just by default. Like how if you're, raised in a Republican family, you better be Republican or else, or, vice versa. So who knows what he would actually choose. We've got a $5 super chat from Pterrodax. Thank you very much. Or a $5 Canadian dollar. Can you do Keemstar getting attacked by Fat Albert, who is posing as Batman? Fuck. I can. What is up, Drama Alert Nation? This is Keemstar. It's a very terrible impression. What is up, Drama Alert Nation? Keemstar here, Killer Keemstar.
Did you say that you're a killer? Hey, you just admitted to a crime. I'm Fat Bad Albert Man.
Did you get your $5 worth? Please, Fat Albert Batman, don't hit me in the face repeatedly.
I'm doing it right now.
You spent $5 on that. Holy shit, dude. Abysme said that was the best $5 he ever spent. That has to be the worst $5 you've ever spent. Oh my god, my voice. Bye, Lizzie. 5 hours ago when you said goodbye. Slime, did you ever see that movie filmed in Disneyland? I actually have never seen it. I've seen stuff about it, though. Escape from Tomorrow or something. Miss Blackthorn, yeah, should be harsher on strikes, etc., especially when they're spreading misinformation and generally being toxic. If you're going to be childish, take away their toys. Yeah, it's a tough thing, because, let's say that you have a video in which somebody reviews your story. And let's go to the extreme here. Let's go to the extreme and, invoke Godwin's Law. Let's say in the comments below the review, there's just a ton of Nazi propaganda and racism and, let's murder, all people who look like this. And the person who made the completely innocent review video is doing nothing about it and encouraging it. I don't want my story associated with that. Fuck you. So, you could go to like an extreme example and question it as a thought experiment. But of course that's just a theoretical fake, imaginary scenario. In real life, it's just like, I don't want my work associated with what you're doing and what you're allowing. And you used my work to create content for and enrich your channel with, a video, a new video, new content, whatever. You used me and you used my work. And then you blocked me from being able to answer people who were saying random bullshit about me. Because they're, Nightmind fans who are still mad that I outed him for being a piece of shit. I don't know. It's worth thinking about. Has anyone found any more news on the Creepypasta situation? Sad that a guy I used to watch a bunch ended up being like that. I don't think there's anything new. It's just, like I've said before, it's like a holding pattern where we're just all kind of waiting to see what happens. They're not gonna ship Creepypasta on a, they're not gonna put him on like a freight ship in like a shipping container and send him back to America to face charges. So it's like, we're kind of just waiting to see what happens, I guess. He's probably never going to admit to it, even though it's very likely that he did it. So it's kind of like, we're kind of just waiting to see, we're all waiting. My thought is somebody else is probably going to come forward at some point, because people who do stuff like that don't usually just do it once. That's just my thought. I think there's many communities in the grander horror narration landscape. Like, some channels will be friendly with each other, or I guess creators will be friendly with each other. Yeah, the funny thing is, I think a lot of creators work together and everything for views and traffic, but I think a lot of them hate each other. Because I've heard that, to a certain extent. Like, when Creepypasta overtook Mr. Creepypasta in subscribers, from what I was told, secondhand, from people who, were in the know, Mr. Creepypasta was just, like, butthurt and mad about it. He wasn't happy for Creepypasta, which you would be if it was a friend of yours. But yeah. Just to be clear, is Mr. Creepypasta bad influence kind of groomer, or is he FBI open up kind of groomer? Here's the thing. You can groom fans. Fans don't need to be underage, I think. I might be completely wrong and have the wrong definition. But I think that, like, let's say you have a fan and they're 18 years old. And they're a huge fan of you, gigantic internet celebrity. I think it's, I might be wrong about the definition, but I think it's possible to groom that 18-year-old and be like, hey, welcome to my fandom, how you doing? How you doing tonight? What you doing? What you wearing? Hi. Yeah, oh, it'd be funny if I saw pictures of your feet, wouldn't it? I don't know, just funny. Hey, why don't we meet up sometime? It'd be cool to meet up in real life. You know, you can come to this convention I'm at. Oh, why don't we go up to my hotel room? Why don't we go to my hotel room and just chill out? We'll watch some horror movies and, you know, oh my god, my robe fell off. Oh no, my dick is erect. You know, I think it's possible to groom like an 18-year-old. I could be wrong in grooming strictly children, I don't know. But I think it's possible, and that's the kind of groomer Mr. Creepypasta is, if that is the case. Because he, you know, had a girlfriend, cheated on her with a fan, started dating that fan, cheated on her with another fan. It's like, it's a constant thing of fucking your fans. And if you're a big-time streamer or YouTuber or whatever with a lot of popularity, and somebody comes along and they're your fan, and they're like, I love you so much, you're such a great person, and blah, 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 and you use that, you know, for sexual gratification, I think that's grooming. I'm not sure. You know, maybe I have the wrong definition. What would you call it if not grooming? Just abuse of your position, I guess? It's a lot of words. You know who used to be one of the big Creepypasta channels, Creepypasta Jr.? Whatever happened to that guy? I know he still makes stuff, but, like, I don't know. I don't watch narrations, so I'm sort of out of the loop as to who specific people are. I only find out about people when they either steal my work or end up, you know, having some tremendous allegation against them. What would happen when the Gorbs run out of people? Maybe Gorbs procreate. I don't know. God, that's a gross thought, isn't it? Gorbs was a story I wrote about gigantic rolling balls of people. Sort of like if you could picture Katamari Damacy, but, you know, with just humans. It's very strange. But yeah, if they procreated, that'd be very disturbing. I personally wouldn't mind, or pardon me. I personally wouldn't DMCA Nix's video because I feel like it would put the Fearfic podcast into question. Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts about it. There's a lot of, you know, ways to look at it. My thing is the Fear Fiction podcast doesn't have comments inciting everybody to hate and false flag and mass report and go after and harass and destroy somebody. That's my only qualifier there. So I'm, you know, that's the thing I'm thinking about. You know, in terms of what sticks out to me. EM131 says, he. Why? Why am I a he? I don't know. It's not by choice. No, they say hey. I know they say hey. I was undecided on recommending a course of action, but Snickle brings up a very good point. Yeah. Here's the thing. What the fuck happened with Midnight Marinara and Undercooked Analysis? Why was that allowed to go through? Because they weren't doing shit. They weren't doing anything untoward. They weren't doing anything wrong. I don't get it. Something like that can get removed, but people being outwardly abusive, I have to sit here and be like, well, no, I don't really know. And it's like, I understand why, but it just feels icky. It feels icky to have people I know get abused by the system, and then sit here and feel like, well, I don't want to abuse the system just because someone is, you know, allowing and inciting people to say that I'm a homophobic, alt-right, Trump-supporting Nazi, white supremacist, you know, whatever else you want to make up. Just because they're fans of Nightmind, and those are people who watch Nick Sphere's videos. I considered doing a text-to-speech channel, really glad I didn't. I did one very early on to sort of make fun of people who didn't put any emotion into their narrations, but YouTube marked it as spam. So YouTube didn't like text-to-speech channels when I was doing it ironically as a joke, but now they allow it. I don't know. Abysme, get double to draw Clay Sand Face Man. Yes. So he was basically that French guy who spreads clay on his face from Channel Zero. Yeah, Clayface was originally... Hi, Halloween Mask Dude. Clayface was originally Olivier de Sagazon. That's the... Olivier de Sagazon is the guy who was Jawbone, a.k.a. the Skin Taker in the Candle Cove TV show. Anyway, pretty much all the comics characters are stolen from something, often from each other, yeah. Like the X-Men or the Doom Patrol, you know, that type of thing. I thought you might have told us about your Batman idea in Too Spooky. It includes Two-Face, right? It includes basically... yeah, I have said it in my Discord. It basically was an excuse to create a bunch of new Batman villains and try to refresh things a little bit. Fuck. Ah. What do you think of Clive Barker? Um, I'm not really. See, here's the thing. I'm not really a tremendous movie person, which is very strange. And I don't read a lot of books. I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't listen to a lot of albums. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I don't consume media really, which is, I know, makes me odd. Um, I, I I am a fan of Clive Barker for who he is and what he does. Uh, the movies of his that I have seen, I'm not a fan of like gore and body horror type stuff. Really, like in terms of watching something, it just makes me like ew. So I think I'm trying to remember what I've seen of his. Uh, I just have a general inkling of like body horror and gore making me go, I don't want to watch this. I'm not a squeamish person. I'm not somebody with a weak stomach or whatever. But I like horror that's like, I like more like fun horror. Where you're like enjoying the ride as opposed to being legitimately like squicked out or whatever. Elias almost had himself murdered by way of a fake suicide. Yes. Spire in the Woods was deleted from No Sleep because it is now a published book. Oh, so we can't review it because we'd have to read a published book. RIP! Slime, how do you feel about the Japanese? They're fine. Oh, the Japanese horror books, Megami Tensei. Never heard of it or read it. I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit. LOL, Bad Albert, true. $5 well spent. I don't know. It was kind of shitty. You guys are talking too much. I got too much to go down here. It's not at all my fault for reading through everything slowly. 2020 was a hard year. Any plans to organize a terrific convention this year? No. I would never organize a convention. For multiple reasons. One of the reasons being I don't want all of the gross shit that happens to be on my hands. If you had to describe how you look in one word, what would you choose? Sasquatch. Fuck! God damn it. What's a wham line or twist ending or whatever you want to call it to a story you've written that you're most proud of? Oh, Giddy Cahoon. Cahoon. Giddy Cahoon. Like, I think the ending to Extra Ketchup is a great wham line. Same for Big Green Tray, to give an idea of what I mean. Fuck. My favorite twist or wham line at the end of one of my stories. Shit. This is very odd, but I would think one that comes to mind that I really like is I wrote a sequel to one of my stories called It's Always a Zombie. And it was called It's Still a Zombie. And I liked the last line of that just from the standpoint of coming up with it, I guess. Which it doesn't really matter. It's not like a spoiler as to what happens in the story, so I actually can say the last line and it won't spoil anything. The story is about a exterminator for zombies. Somebody who is like just a run-of-the-mill, everyday working Joe who works as an exterminator for whenever there's a zombie somewhere, comes in and kills it and removes it. Not like a zombie hunter, because zombies are more like pests and inconveniences. But yeah, the last line of the story is, it can be hard to tell. I'm going to paraphrase it. I'm probably going to fuck it up. It can be hard to tell exactly when something dies. Because obviously we're in a world with zombies, so it's hard to tell when someone's living or dead. It can be hard to tell when something dies, especially when it's part of yourself. So I liked that in relation to the story and so on and so forth. I liked coming up with that line, and when I did, I was proud of that. The idea of it's hard to tell when something is living or dead, especially when it's something inside of you, like a part of your personality, a part of your hope or your, soul or whatever. To be fair, I was totally at that Nick stream. Oh, wait, this is Mercaeus again. To be fair, I was totally at that Nick stream, and you were really uncool, Slimebeast. You just walked into Nick's house, took the mic, and said 13 swears without ever breaking eye contact with the camera. Yep, I said every swear I know. I only know 13 swears. I actually purposefully don't learn more swears because I like to keep it at number 13 because it's like an edgelordy number. If I learned more than 13, then I would have to learn like 666 of them to get to the next really cool number. When is your gaming channel going to do VTM Bloodlines, the most jank-ass vampire game? Probably never. I don't know what it is, and it sounds terrible. You've described it so badly, like as in it's a bad game. I did a Daikatana video, which is a really terrible game. Mr. Tumulus, you can groom 18-year-olds. That's the whole Ryan Haywood situation. Ah, okay. I wasn't sure. I had a moment there where it was like, well, wait a minute. Is grooming literally defined as only kids? I don't know. Dating a fan? Aren't you worried about getting blown away? Oh, because fans, like as in the fans that blow you around. Ah, yeah, I gotcha. Why are there 5 billion OCs like yours that are just human with their head replaced with a random thing? You mean like Siren Head? And Pyramid Head? And Head? And Ed Netty Head? And, yeah. There are very few tropes that people seem to enjoy in like internet horror. Faceless man, teen killer. I actually wrote a book about it. It's called The Creepypasta Field Guide. It explores all of the different cliches and so on and so forth. I actually was thinking of writing a second field guide book. I don't know if I'd be able to come up with enough new tropes, but like Siren Head and things like that, that falls into a very clear trope that I call it just would be called Object Head, because Object Head just describes all these different things where it's like an object for a head, simple. But yeah, the Creepypasta Field Guide was something I wrote where I just broke down all the different tropes in creepypasta, and I made it like a field guide where each installment was about a different type of creepypasta creature. Like I called, the teenage killers, I called that the stabby teen, and it had a whole entry about the stabby teen is, does this, that, and the other thing, and blah, blah, blah. Like describing the attributes and different things. But yeah, I if I ever do that again, I'm going to put Object Head in there, because Object Head is like the new thing. At the end of the day, the real question about DMCA, as for why it is, I think it's just because it's a simple character design. It's an easy character design to make. You look on your desk, you say, oh, what's this, a bottle of allergy pills? What if there was a character with a bottle of pills for a head, and he was wearing a lab coat, and he was called Big Pharma, or Pillhead, I don't know. But yeah, at the end of the day, the real question about DMCAing is whether or not it would end the drama quickly enough that the uproar it would cause is worth it. I don't know. It'd be, as I said, I'm, thinking about a lot of different angles of it, but it definitely would bring to light what Nick Spheres has done. But yeah. Where the fuck? God damn it, okay. I thought you watched a lot of movies. I'm surprised you haven't. Yeah, I don't engage with much media at all. I don't play many games. I don't watch many movies. I don't, Be thankful that I can't super chat. An evil part of me wants you to sing There'll Always Be England in Fat Albert Batman's voice. I don't know the song, so it's good that you didn't, because I wouldn't know what to sing. I'd just be making shit up. What the heck was After People? That's easily the freakiest story you've wrote. I don't know. This is a television show. What was your inspiration for After People? I was sick one time when I was younger. I had like the flu or something, like a really bad flu or pneumonia or something like that. And I had a little TV in my room, and I was watching on this little TV. There was a show on that was like a period piece television show about this little girl who lived like in poverty with their poor family. And every episode was like some horrible shit happening to her and them, trying to resolve it. And I'm sitting there with like pneumonia, and I'm sitting there so fucking sick. And this show is on about this sad kid in this fucking depressing, shack with her family that sucks. Like they're not nice people. And I was laying there and I was thinking, this show makes me want to fucking die. I just want to fucking die. And so that was the inspiration for that. You know, of course, when I work from inspiration, I spin it out into a lot of different things. A lot of times it doesn't even really resemble the original inspiration, but that's where it came from. Have you ever read anything by Junji Ito? Just little snippets here and there. I looked at the Spiral thing. You know, I've seen some of his short page or panel comics and different things like that. Start at OnlyFans, no. Does anyone else find it shady when someone hides how much they're earning on Patreon? Abysme says, not really. An audience can start developing certain bad expectations and prejudices if you make too much. I would say I agree with Abysme, but I think it's case by case. I think it's case by case. I think if you have somebody who's asking for help, I think it's bad to hide how much they're getting. Like if they say, I need to maintain my channel and keep my studio open, and you know, I need to keep things going, and I'm suffering such hard times and I really need support. I think in that case it's bad to hide how much you're getting, because it's like, well, I'd like to be able to decide how much support you're getting. Like, I'm not going to donate if I see that you're getting $5,000, because that's more than enough to do what you're saying you need. But if somebody's not asking, like, literally, like, please help me, I need help to do this, then I think, you know, yeah, hide it, whatever. But yeah, if you're trying to solicit people's help, I think you have a little bit of an obligation to let them know when you've reached, you know, what you need. Whoa, 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 whoa! The most junk vampire game is Dark for the Xbox 360, and maybe Vampire Reign. I don't remember what that one's for, though. True, I believe you. Ed and Eddie Head, my favorite creepypasta. Head and Hetty. Yep. Double, draw it. What? I almost got to read your post. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is an action RPG based on the Vampire the Masquerade tabletop RPG. Raid Shadow Legends is available now. No. It's a good game, but plagued by bugs to the point you kind of need the fan patch to play it. Shit. Well, that sucks. Slimebeast Head. That's me. Does your cat ever play with laser pointers? Yeah, she's constantly shining them in my eyes. It's fucking annoying. Pizza Roll Head scared me the most. Yeah. Alright, so we're getting to the end of the chat here. This has been 2 hours and 2.5 hours, almost. So I'm probably going to end the stream soon, just a heads up. Once I reach the end of the chat and we get around 2 hours plus, that's usually when I wrap up. VTM Bloodline is a computer game based off of the VTM. Lock yourself out of finished main quest. Sounds like a piece of shit. That game sounds shitty. I don't want to play it. You ever notice that where it's like, you should play this game, it's really awful, and it's like, no. No. I don't want to be mad. Hey, look, guys, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is going to be a fully functional and working game when it comes out next year. I'm expecting it to get delayed again and pushed next year. It's it'll be the cyberpunk of vampires. Bloodlines 2, you can play as, or can I play Sabat? Sabat. I don't know who that is, but probably. Noob Cybot. Yeah, that's who it is. Wait, what show was this you were watching? I don't know the name of it. It was something that would come on once in a while, and I watched it a couple times, and I was like, why are people watching this sad fest? Why do people want to watch a little girl be sad? I don't know what the fuck. Oh, in this episode, the house burns down, and Aunt Mavis dies in the fire. Like, that's not a fucking TV show. Fuck you. Go to hell. Putting a kid in your show so it's like people think it's a kid's show. Have you seen anything made by Alex Bale? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know the name, but I maybe have seen something. Recently, I heard of Meat Canyon, which is a YouTube channel that makes really fucked up cartoons. And I was like, Meat Canyon? I've never heard of that. What is Meat Canyon? I must check out Meat Canyon. I go to the channel, and I've seen 2 of the videos before, and I'm like, oh, I saw these in passing, but I had no idea what it was. What exactly went down with Nix and Nick? You mean between the 2 of them, or with me and them? Nick's Fears posted up about Nick Nocturne On a live stream, Nick Nocturne was like touching her and shit, and she was uncomfortable with it, and he was like trying to pull off her hat, you know, like different things like that. Just generally creepy, you know, shit with your body and your clothes. On the live stream where she couldn't, you know, really lose her shit and get mad at him, which is really, you know, extra creepy. That's what happened between them. Between me and them is Nick Nocturne had a problem with me out of nowhere for no reason, and so his audience was sicked on me. That's the shortest way to do it. Do you like any horror? I literally had no problems with Nick Nocturne, never really talked to him, never had a disagreement with him, not a single disagreement. But he decided in like a Tumblr post about something else to throw me in there because it was like, oh, you know Slimebeast, that guy that, you know, people don't like sometimes? Yeah, him too. He's bad. And I was like, dude, I don't even talk to you. What the fuck? I haven't done anything to you, or, you know, we haven't had any problems. Do you like any horror or sci-fi anthology shows? I'm a spiritual boomer. I'm a boomer in spirit. I like the original Twilight Zone and shit like that. I can't think of any horror or sci-fi TV shows that I like. I haven't seen many of them, so, you know. Quick, everyone post random stuff. No! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secrets of the Ooze Head. Yes. Good stream. Can't wait for more creepypasta narrations and fearfic episodes. Peace, peace. Thank you, Snickle. Stay tuned. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What is your opinion on old Disney movies like The Pink Elephants on Parade and Dumbo? I think that this is sort of maybe a hot take. I think the scary and nonsensical and horrible things in Disney movies, I think that's what made them memorable. Like, I don't think people would be talking about Bambi nowadays from Disney if his mother didn't get fucking shot. Like, that might be a hot take. But I think that those are the parts that make it stick out in your mind and make things memorable. The parts that terrify you, the things that are out of nowhere, the nonsensical things, the disturbing things. I think that makes it memorable. Like a photo-negative mouse under fucking resort. Who knew? Scary things in the middle of something for kids. That's what I love is, this is another rant, and I'm trying to wind down here. I love when idiots... I can't describe it any other way. I love when idiots are like, oh, yet another creepypasta taking something meant for children and trying to make it scary. How stupid. It's like, bitch, motherfucker, you ever watch any of this shit? You ever watch a fucking Disney movie? It's full of scary shit. Disney is making the things for kids scary. You know, fucking everybody is. It ain't just the creepypasta people. It ain't our trope exclusively. What are your plans in case of planet-killing asteroids? I'd probably just go outside and say, hey, asteroid, fuck you, and die. Bloodlines is a good game, as in actually good instead of so bad it's good. It's just buried under the bugs. I see. Fixed by a fan patch. God damn it. Nah. But the fan patch isn't perfect and still had a small hiccup with it on. Have you ever encountered something supernatural in real life? No, I am a skeptic and I don't believe in supernatural things. I've encountered things that would seem supernatural, but it's like, oh, that was probably this. Like, when I was a kid, I heard something under the bed, and I was like, something is scratching under the bed. Looked under the bed, nothing there. Oh my god, is it a ghost under my bed? Some kind of monster that turned invisible? No. You know, later on I thought to myself, it was probably just like a mouse in the wall. You know, it's that type of thing. What would I have to do to convince you to read the Reed Fleming World's Toughest Milkman comic series? If it's free, link it to me. If it's not free, find it for me on sale for $1. Also, before I go, Nick is the only reason I found your channel. I'm sorry, Snickle. I'm sorry that... So I guess some good things come out of everything. There's always something good. There's always a silver lining. By which I mean you coming here, not like, I'm your silver lining. I mean, like, whatever. Is your favorite Scooby-Doo character Red Herring? Yes. So you like Red Herring? Now that you mention that, I remember that. Fuck, I vaguely remember Red Herring. So you like the original Twilight Zone? Did you like any of the 3 reboots of it, or shows like Tales from the Dark Side / The Outer Limits? Tales from the Dark Side, Night Gallery, Monsters, Amazing Stories. I like all of those, but they're very hit or miss. You know, Twilight Zone can be hit or miss in their episodes, but even if it's a miss, you enjoy it for certain aspects of it, even if it's like the, you know, old-timey camp value of it. But, you know, other shows, I do enjoy them, but when they miss, they really fucking miss. You know, like, oh, I don't want to watch this. Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, that too. I was introduced to Slimebeast through Michael Leroy. Like I said, something good comes out of every pile of shit. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jacob is like in my Discord. Fuck off. Everybody who would want to use that for something. What are your plans in case you become a planet-killing asteroid? Kill everyone. Fucking, that would be awesome. Could you imagine that? Okay, Abysme, write a sci-fi story where somebody wakes up one morning and they're becoming an asteroid. They're like starting to turn like Rocky and shit. And then they eventually start levitating. Speaking of scary Disney, will we ever get the Haunted Mansion movie Del Toro wrote? No, probably not. I don't know. Probably not. Release the Del Toro cut. I was Nick's first sub, and that was a point of pride for me until I realized he doesn't care about the fans that don't give him money or actively suck him off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you, because, you know, it's never fun when that shit happens. I mean, I can, you know, sit here and celebrate people's failure all I want, or, you know, point out people's faults, but it still is, you know, I'm sorry that happens. What's the spookiest thing you have experienced? Because, you know, here's the thing. The people who are victimized by YouTubers, mistreated by YouTubers, or disappointed by YouTubers, that's what I care about. So, you know, I do feel bad when I read stuff like that. And it's not that you shouldn't have said it. I'm glad you did. You know, it's good to know that. But I do feel sad, you know, for people who get abused or dejected or thrown off or, you know, so on and so forth. Now, in my case, luckily, most of the people who have stopped being fans of mine, luckily it's because they had some kind of super big meltdown and were becoming a big problem, and I had to like ban them from my Discord or tell them to get the fuck out. So luckily, in my case, usually it's people leave because they have some kind of fucking temper tantrum. What's the spookiest thing you have ever experienced? That's a tough one. Since I'm such a skeptic, I don't view most things as spooky. God, I don't know. Spookiest thing I've ever experienced. When I was a little kid, like really little, like maybe 3 or 4, there was a box of spaghetti on the counter, and I picked something up, or I took something down off the counter, and the spaghetti box tilted, and all the spaghetti started coming out slowly. Like, the dry, uncooked spaghetti slowly was sliding out of the box. And I fucking screamed, because there was just like, the spaghetti was reaching for me out of that box, so I was like, Mom! Mom! That's fucking the dumbest fucking thing, but that's all I can think of, because I was a little kid, and I was like, why is this happening? Why is spaghetti slowly reaching out of a container toward me? And it's just because of gravity. Are a really good Lovecraft-style game in recent years. I know there was a Lovecraftian game, something about the moon or something? I don't know. That looked interesting. I didn't play it, but it looked interesting. Like Red Moon or Blood Moon or Moon over Cthulhu. What cryptid do you think is most plausible? Probably Bigfoot. The reason being, all you need is some kind of genetic throwback. All you need is like a normal person who has some kind of genetic issue that, you know, is born to mountain people, and you could have a Sasquatch. I mean, this is not a funny thing, but there are people who are born with fur. You know, there are people who have like body hair that is fur, and they, you know, sort of are called like, it's called like werewolfism or something. I don't know. Maybe that's not the real term, but there are people who have that happen to them. So I mean, you know, Bigfoot probably is very plausible. Do you have a favorite Twilight Zone episode? Fuck. I like the one in the diner with the little devil that tells your fortune. Like it's a little thing on a table in the diner where you put in a coin and get your fortune. It's just a funny concept to me because the thing makes people really, really paranoid about bad things happening to them. It just strikes me kind of funny. I enjoyed the stream, thanks. Please tag me in the Discord when the story is written. Yes, Abysme, tag. I can't write, so someone else write that sci-fi story. Abysme can't write. This fucker writes shit. This fucker wrote shit. He's a fucking liar. Haunted Spaghetti Box, literally Creepypasta. Yeah, an early run-in with Creepypasta. All 8 issues of Reed Fleming can be purchased for a little under $10 American, only on Raid Shadow Legends. Spaghetti, this explains 70% of your horror style, true. Slime Mom had to deal with her little beast afraid of pasta. Yeah. Listen, if pasta started reaching for you, what would you do? This sounds like a spoof of the 8 Mile thing. Listen, if pasta started reaching for you, what would you do? Would you fight it? Or would you go quietly? Mom, Spaghetti. Do you have a favorite new Twilight Zone episode? Nah. I haven't watched the new one. I've seen clips of it and shit like that. So you're saying when you were a kid, you were accosted by literal creepypasta. Yes. That is a good time to end the stream on this pun. My name is Slimebeast. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for joining me here. Thank you so much for the super chats. As I've said in the previous stream, I don't expect people to pay me anything, so it's very much a surprise, and I very much appreciate it, and I don't know how to deal with it. I would just be sitting here for an hour thanking you and telling you why it helps me. I'd be telling you, you know, the stuff I struggle with in life and being like, see, you may not think oh my fucking God. $10. Now you can enjoy the glory of Reed Fleming. Thank you very much. I'll go and buy that. I literally will. But yeah. If I thanked you as much as I wanted to, I'd be here for hours, just running it into the ground and being really cringy and making everybody awkward and making people want to leave. What was the spaghetti colored? Was the spaghetti colored in any way? No, it was pale yellow, just basic. Black spaghetti, like black rice, Abysme story. Black spaghetti like black rice, Abysme story. Mom, spaghetti on your shoulder ready. Wow, I can't say Chinese. What? Oh wait. We wouldn't mind you being here for hours. Yeah, my voice is starting to go out, though. Because I'm an idiot. There's a pile of black spaghetti in the parking lot. Enjoy your evening. Asian. Asian? Asian? Okay, that's the end of the stream. Goodbye, everybody. We're ending on Asian? Question mark. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the Munmuns. Thank you for all the things. Thank you for being you. Thank you for not being shit and shitting up the chat. No shitters here. People disliking the video, but too cowardly to speak up because you're all fucking cowards outside your echo chamber. Fuck you. Asian? I wanted to stream semi-regularly. I said that last stream, I believe. But now it's like everybody awkward and making people want to leave. I wanted to stream semi-regularly. I said that